Welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from the UDL, presented as always by Geaux Chevrolet. You can find Lee Carney, Nick Richard, and their crew online at GEAUXchevrolet.com. Couple of locations with a used car lot here in Baton Rouge, and of course our new car lot over in LaPlace, Louisiana. Welcome into a Wednesday edition. Jordy Culotta, Katie's here, Noah's here, Lloyd's here on this Wednesday. We'll talk to Will Wade coming up at 7:30 this morning. Coach Wade will stop in. Lots to talk about with Coach Wade as Skylar Mays logged some minutes last night in the Eastern Conference Finals as Atlanta blows out Milwaukee, blasts the Bucks. They may lose Giannis in that matchup as it looks like he hyperextended his knee late in that game. I mean, that was a tough fall. I mean, I'm just going after no MRI results, no X-ray results. I mean, that thing definitely did not go the way it was supposed to. I mean, that thing bent in a weird direction.
I follow a doctor on Twitter that does a lot of NFL stuff. Yeah, Dr. Chow.
What doctor?
He used to be a team doctor for the Chargers, and he found this niche of posting he'll watch the video and he can give you I guess a professional opinion because he is a doctor, and so he watched the video of Giannis and said he's out for the series. He said, luckily to escape with no ACL, confirmed has to have an MRI, but doubt you see him for the rest of the series.
Wow.
So that's Dr. Courtney reporting.
I mean, Atlanta.
If he wants a second opinion.
Look at Atlanta. With no Trae Young last night, wins and takes control, seemingly, of the...
Lemon Pepper Lou, baby.
Lemon Pepper Lou.
The man's never had one $10 million contract.
What is he
Isn't that unbelievable?
That was his first playoff start ever. Because he's, he's like sixth man of the year, sixth man of the will.
What is he, 33, 34 years old now?
What he is an automatic bucket.
He is. Can you imagine how good of a pickup player he'll be in the next 5 years?
It's like what Jamal Crawford's doing now. Just walks into the gym I want nothing to do with that.
If he goes play in that Big 3 league, the little Ice Cube league, he's going to...
I mean, he'll be like Chris Jackson. He'll be like Mahmoud.
Right.
He'll be scoring until he's 50.
Yes.
Joe Johnson just goes in and wrecks him and gets a contract out
Joe
of it.
Johnson's birthday yesterday, too.
Wow. Nice.
ISO Joe.
ISO Joe.
Yeah, Lou Williams, 34.
34 years old. Look at Lou. Still getting it done, man, with around a bunch of 20-year-olds.
Right.
Cam Reddish made an appearance last night in the Eastern Conference Finals. I forgot all about Cam Reddish.
Won the trade with Cam Reddish.
All right, we got a lot to get to this morning. Will Wade will be here at 7:30 this morning. We will talk to Shea Dixon coming up at 8:30 this morning. Then Tommy Moffit will be here as well in the second hour. So lots going on this Wednesday morning as LSU in the news. Of course, the more media I watch on Jay Johnson, and he had a sit-down with Emily Dixon, who is Shea's wife, who is over at LSU and does fantastic work over there in the digital department and putting out the content in the media. She had a sit-down with Jay Johnson that was very impressive. I mean, Johnson and his approach, and I think I just love the way that he's handled stepping into the LSU job. I think sometimes that can maybe swallow you up. And I'm not saying that the weight of the job, that the job is this big because he's earned the LSU job, but just everything that goes around. And I'd imagine that everybody you've met over the last 72 hours, the things that you've probably heard people say that they just unaware, just without any awareness, walk up and say, "Hey, Coach, we expect you to be in Omaha next year."
Yeah, you watching this?
You probably hear that 50 times, just walking around campus. Sometimes that can probably just weigh you down and just, look, man, I'm ready to get home and go to bed. Just sleep this day off. That doesn't seem like it has hit him, bothered him one bit. And I think his approach to that, it almost kind of does feel like he likes it.
I wonder what his wife's thinking. That's what I wonder. How's she getting acclimated?
Well, she's an administrator too.
Right.
So she's probably looking at LSU and looking at all the crap they're going through. Like, hey,
I can fix it.
Yeah,
need some help.
Exactly. Let me. We're gonna get your baseball program right, and we're gonna get your compliance program right. And you know what? Scott Woodward, behind closed doors. I mean, he is a. This is something that he would probably see.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And recognize. And like we said yesterday, we talked a lot about this. The overhaul of the compliance department at LSU is a lot more difficult than a lot of us expect it to be. I think a lot of us expected Scott Woodward to get the job and to drop a stick of dynamite in that department and blow it up, and everybody be overhauled and looking for new work and just coming in with new personnel. And like we said yesterday, when the athletic department is under investigation, you can't move anybody. It's a huge red flag, and I think that there is actually written rule on that you can't be firing people if you're under investigation. So as this investigation continues to roll out, I think you'll start to see the turnover, just like we saw once the COVID stuff got behind Scott Woodward and the athletic department from a fiscal standpoint. You started to see him make some moves in going out there and getting those big fish, those big game that we always talk about with him, and Kim Mulkey and Jay Johnson. Even though we didn't talk about him a lot here, and he wasn't a name that was as popular or as kicked around as some. He seems like big game. I mean, he seems like he is one of the top college baseball coaches in the country, and just by the way, the way that he's been introduced and the way that he's handled the first couple of days on the job, and everything that he's done, and
I would say not only the way that he's conducted himself, which has been I'm convinced that he's probably like closet genius, like just the way he talks. He's very analytical. He has a lot of he thinks before he speaks. You can tell he's actually concerned with what's going to come out of his mouth. Like he's not going to say something just to say it, and then to bring what seems to be a little recruiting job already in his first 2 days on campus.
He seems like a very big time players coach. Like you heard Mikey talk about him, like run through a wall for him basically, and he leaves, and all these Arizona players are like, you know what, my coach is gone. That's why I was here.
Yeah.
What 12? I think 12 Arizona Wildcats in the portal after he left.
Unreal.
All Americans in the portal, not just like
studs.
Not just like bums, like
Mikey Romero was a guy that we saw in recruiting and everybody got excited about. Then you started to see some of the names that were going into the portal from Arizona. I mean, Jacob Berry.
Son of Perry Berry.
Yeah.
Perry Berry, former Raging Cajun infielder, which Perry Carey feels like such a UL baseball player's name.
Perry Berry's going to make them go through when they drive in. They're like, let's go through Lafayette. Let's go through.
Perry has to be a nickname, right? I mean, like.
For what though? That's what we were.
We couldn't figure out the original name for Perry.
It's like Blake Money's little brother, Cash.
Yeah,
that's his legit name, Cash Money.
Wow,
legendary.
Wow, is that legendary? So Perry Berry's kid, Jacob Berry, who is a switch-hitting third baseman and an All-American and was Arizona's top hitter. I mean, he is big time, and it looks like he's going to come to LSU. I mean,
17 jacks.
He's in the portal. And of course Jay Johnson here. That looks like that could happen, but I mean the amount of players from Arizona, and I think it goes back to what Johnson was saying in his introductory press conference. He's got to have a lot of difficult conversations before fall, or maybe not before fall, before the Christmas break at LSU with what's going to happen with this roster turnover. If you're getting out and getting guys like Barry, I mean, there's going to be some movement on this roster with some new names, new faces, and guys that'll be contributing. But that's why you brought him in. I mean, could you imagine Cruz, Morgan, Barry in the middle of that lineup?
Dude, I keep almost calling him Perry. Now I can't even remember his first name. I don't know, but he's Perry Berry's Jacob Berry.
Okay.
Jacob
Berry.
And
I have some audio of Jay Johnson talking about Barry when he recruited him to Arizona. If y'all want to listen to that, I guess it's good.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Jacob Berry is the first player on there from Queen Creek High School up in the Phoenix area. I mean, in my opinion, he's the best player in the state of Arizona for this class in 2020. And tremendous hitting ability. He'll look like a middle-of-the-order hitter at Arizona very early on in his career. Incredible bat speed, hitting ability, power, plate discipline. I mean, really checks all the boxes there. Has really improved as an infielder, and this will be a common theme with a few of these guys. I mean, as a special person, as an elite person, that was a really big part of the foundation of this class and one of our earlier commits.
70 ribbies, batted .352, 17 jacks, like Lloyd said, was a first-team All-American, USA Baseball Collegiate National Team participant. He was a D1 Baseball Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, Pac-12 All-Conference. I mean, this guy is a super high-end player. So, I mean, heads up, LSU could be getting some more names here over the next 48 hours because I believe the names have to be in the portal before July 1st for them to have
And there's already 12 in there,
eligibility for next season.
And if you're looking at the LSU roster, I'd say that there's two names that are safe on there. That's Cruz and Morgan, and Thompson, I guess. But anybody else is kind of open season. If you're going to bring in an All-American, you're not safe no matter what position you play.
Yeah, I think that there's for sure. I mean, I think there's a lot of open spots. I mean, it would depend on what Gavin Dugas decided on whether or not he would come back. I think he's got a spot. Just because he seems like a Johnson type guy with the way he hits.
And he's in the outfield, so I mean, this move, Barry doesn't really affect them, so he's still gonna be in left field and hit 20 bombs for us. So,
Kate Doty, Bianco, those guys are on the fence.
Yeah, I don't know if Doty is.
I think they'd move Doty to second.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there was a spot for Doty on the team.
But I'd imagine if you're
but he's not the third baseman with Barry.
You just started 60 some odd games, and they're like, I gotta watch my back here. Nobody's safe.
Well, that's what LSU was a couple of seasons ago. You know what I mean? You lose a Stevenson in the outfield, and here comes a Zach Watson stepping up, and you're just like, wow. I mean, they're not as much replacing as they are
just
reloading. Yeah, I mean, and that's where they need to be to compete. I mean, look at tonight's game. Yeah. Look at tonight. I mean, how do you feel today?
I feel good.
Yeah, I would feel great if I was Mississippi State.
I mean,
you're going to get but you're going to face that with Bednar,
right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You throw your ace. Let us throw. I mean, bro, this is going to be an epic game.
And you didn't just bounce back last night.
Yeah,
it wasn't
you
just
made a statement.
A 4-5 win. You know,
right.
I mean, you went out there and
Did y'all see the pitcher? That home when Vandy hit that home run and he waved by at the ball. That was epic.
That's how you know they're comfortable.
Right.
Mississippi State gives up an absolute yak, and he just waves by to. It's like, we're up 7-2, dude. I'm good.
13 last night for Mississippi State against Vanderbilt, and definitely left Rosenblatt Stadium or TD Ameritrade Park with the confidence.
Looked like Duty Noble.
Going, it sounded like Duty Noble.
That place is rocking.
Without the cowbells.
Sounded like Duty. I mean, that place was loud.
The Whistler wasn't very loud last night.
I mean, what does he have to whistle about?
The whistle about?
But I mean, he's always whistling. He always is.
Y'all shut him up last night.
So, I mean, I was like, did something happen to him?
Tonight is going to be an epic matchup. I mean, if you're a baseball fan, not just a college baseball fan, if you were a baseball fan and you get to see Will Bednar taking on Kumar Rocker.
So you think it'll be Rocker? I think he has to go.
What do you mean, bro?
Well,
I mean, your life is on the line, and you've got potentially the best pitcher in the game on, what is this, 4 days rest?
4 days rest. This will be his fourth day, so it's technically I don't know if it counts as a rest day because it's the fourth day.
Kumar.
No, I think Kumar's beating the door down.
Asking the dumb questions.
No. I'm saying because of the way that college baseball is and how he's a protected top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Some coaches would actually think not to trot him out there because I don't want to be responsible for him losing any amount of money if he goes out and gets hurt on a short rest, which is technically what it is. Because I know LSU goes through that where Paul was very protective of his players if he knew they were professional. So that's what I'm asking. Rocker's beating the door down.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not, in his mind, I'm going today.
Yeah, I don't think you let him go 111 pitches like last game. You can't let him burn his arm out after short rest. So.
In their mind, he's thinking, I got 6 months, I got 3 months to rest or whatever. Yeah. So I'm sure he's going to, once he gets that ball, he's not giving it up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can't.
You can't. If you're a competitor,
this is why you're here. This is it.
Essentially Game 7 of the World Series.
This is Game 7 of the entire season. This is one game, winner take all, national championship. You throw your best, we'll throw our best. Go out there and see who wins. But if I'm a Mississippi State fan, I'm feeling great. I felt great about Mississippi State going into the series just because of
I did too.
The swagger that they had. And, I mean, in a 3-game set, you want the scenario that Mississippi State's in. You can have the first game and blow us out, but if we can steal back the momentum and get that headspace of blowing you out in Game 2 going into the decisive game.
That's how they have to do it.
I mean, that's the driver's seat.
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel a little bit like, I mean, I'm sure we've all seen Sandlot. It's like when they go meet at the field, and it's, it's like the preppy kids that have all the uniforms and the ragtag, Sandlot team. That's like, who are these kids? I know Mississippi State's been good all year, but Vanderbilt just has that aura about themselves where they even feel better.
Yeah.
You can tell that they feel like when they were getting blown out, they're like, oh, this is bullshit. We'll get out of here and come back Game 3.
Yeah.
They don't care as much as Mississippi State seems to care.
Right.
private school kids.
Because
That's what it feels
this is our
like.
12th
I mean-
trip to Omaha, and
Yeah, it's
we
old
have
hat
not
for
won
them.
yet. I mean, we've been in this position one other time in 2013, UCLA.
And then you got Mississippi State cats that are playing golf in the dugout during the rain delay, and they're just happy to
know.
it's great to be here.
I know, I know.
You want that mentality going into Game 7, into Game 3, like Mississippi State is playing with, and then also the motivating factor of being able to be the first team in Mississippi State athletics to bring back a national championship to Starkville. I mean, it's sitting right there
I know.
for this team. I mean, that seems like that would be a really highly motivating piece that
Right.
you could dangle in front of an athlete
The
just to
history
say,
is ready to be
Yeah.
made.
hey, fellas,
Right
do you
there.
ever want to pay for a meal in Starkville again? Do you?
And if you're on the SID team for Mississippi State, like, can we get rid of this graphic? Like, can you win a natty so they can stop
know.
showing this
Exactly.
thing?
Or
Right.
the next time they show this graphic, you'll be the asterisk that says the 2021 baseball team. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, we're the ones that were able to kick the door down.
Ended the drought.
Yes. So I like Mississippi State going into tonight's game. I mean, I think that they ultimately have more motivating factors and momentum behind them. And, you know, if you're going to tell me that Kumar Rocker's throwing, which is very intimidating, but you can combat that with Will Bednar, well, let's play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's play. Let's see. And the last time we saw Rocker on Friday, he was very unimpressive. He was not his best. Now, he is good enough to find it in his 4-day rest where he can come out and dominate you. But we have seen that he has been human at times this year. Not in Baton Rouge on his Friday night start, but
And his record in elimination games is something absurd. Like, he's 4-0 or 4-1 whenever the Vanderbilt's had their back up
Yeah,
against the
that's
wall.
concerning.
So he's very much a big game pitcher, and I think he kind of embraces this moment.
He does.
Especially, there's got to be a little jockeying between him and Leiter about who they actually think
Has
is
to
the
be.
best
Yeah.
pitcher. Like, that's
Has
just
to be.
ego.
Yes.
Because Kumar was the top. I mean, he threw a no-hitter in the last time the College World Series was played, and then Jack Leiter comes in and kind of steals some of his shine. So I'm sure he's wanting
Still
to
think
prove
he's
out.
better, though. I still think Kumar's better. Do y'all?
I
Who do y'all
think-
think
I
is the
think
best?
Leiter-
Leiter's
I think
better.
Leiter's
Really?
better.
Yeah, I think Leiter is better.
Kumar has a better fastball because
Yeah.
Kumar's fastball is probably going to hit 100.
Right, and he's
But-
more. He's got more of the ancillary factors
Right.
of being a pitcher.
The look.
the fear factor, the
Right.
physique, the physical dominating presence on
Right.
the mound. Now he's got stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have stuff, but Leiter is more of a technical.
Right. He has control. He's going to put it exactly where he wants it.
he is a.
He looks like he absolutely learned everything he could
Yeah.
from a professional pitcher that pitched for 20 years in the bigs. Like,
And
he's
really, I mean,
pro ready.
Yeah.
You would term him, I guess, as a power pitcher because, I mean, he touches 96, 97, but
Right.
he's very, like I said, I mean, he feels almost Greg Maddux.
Yeah, he's
Where-
not one of those pitchers that's got 2 or 3. I mean, he can go like 4 pitches into
Yeah.
his bag.
And throw him whenever he wants.
Right.
Let me take a quick break. Just had a phone call come through that could be interesting for today's show that I want to take off the air. And we're going to talk to Will Wade coming up here at 7:30 this morning, 8:15, 8:30. We'll talk to Shea Dixon, and then at 8:45 we'll talk to Tommy Moffit. Remember, our coffee here is brought to you by Majestic Coffee. DeliciousSips.com is where you can find them online. True Blue Water is who houses our water for us every day. Remember, that is TRU, bluewater.com online, and then all of our guests are Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. That'll be Will Wade in 10 minutes. That'll be Shea Dixon and Tommy Moffit this morning here on the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.show.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022, 485-8022 is where you can find Hebert's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back here to a Wednesday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, presented by Geaux Chevrolet. As you can find them online at GEAUXchevrolet.com. Jeff Marson, appreciate the shout out to the new gig with Hebert's Specialty Meat. Shout out to Hebert's. You know them over in Lafayette and Maurice, home of the D-Bone Chickens. They got a couple of locations here.
Such a weird tagline.
It is, but it is.
They must
fantastic.
be fire if that's what you're tagging, dude.
Fire. All of it. We have... we do have our selections of the meats now, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
When you think meat, you think Jordy. Hebert's Specialty Meats. There's a lot of ways to promote this product, and we are looking forward to telling you all about it. We are going to be out on the streets. I've got gift cards. I've got giveaways, but I want to make sure that people out there know that Hebert's Specialty Meats is a great stop in for cooking dinner, for traveling, for tailgates, and lunch is coming soon to the Bocage location here on Jefferson Highway. Just a simple lunch menu, bro.
Just a simple debone.
Oh, if you do it right, you don't got to worry about a whole
sausage po' boy,
lot.
shrimp po' boy, red beans and rice. Get you out the door with a nice little hot plate lunch, but while you're standing there, you can see the selections in the freezer, whether it's the steaks, the turduckens, all of everything. The selections are fantastic, man. They've got stuffed turkeys, stuffed chickens. It's an incredible selection, and I am very excited to be a part.
Chokes you up a little bit.
It touches me, man.
How do you debone a chicken?
Katie, I don't know.
I mean, is an entire chicken deboned?
I know the specifics here. I'm not sure.
You work for him. How you debone it?
Yeah, Jordy's back there, deboning chicken. Give me that neck.
Hebert's Specialty Meat, a location in Prairieville, and then the location here in Baton Rouge is on Jefferson Highway, right next to Pearson's Luggage, if you know here. In Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway, Hebert's Specialty Meats located right there in Bocage. Excited to be a part of the team. We're going to be telling you all types of tailgating specials. We're going to be giving you gift cards and giveaways, and we'll have special programming coming to you featured around Hebert's Specialty Meats. So looking forward to it. Thanks for them for jumping on and supporting us, and we are proud to be promoting them in Hebert's Specialty Meats as they are a proud supporter here of the Jordy Culotta Show. The Dare Rosenthal stuff yesterday was obviously concerning for LSU. Ed Ogeron made some public comments about Rosenthal yesterday on a local radio show about the future and where Rosenthal sits right now. And it seemed like, from Ogeron's point of view, that the lifeline between Rosenthal and LSU was over, that it had been cut. There are some rumors out there swirling that LSU is trying to work him back. I have tried to follow up on some of these rumors and get to the top of it or the bottom of it to see if any of this holds any weight. And the people that I've spoke to that are pretty well connected to this thing seem to believe that Rosenthal and LSU, their relationship is over. I will continue to follow up on this and see if I can find any information. But as the way I understand it right now, Dare Rosenthal and LSU's relationship is done, and he is in the transfer portal and could possibly announce his landing spot as early as the weekend. So it is something to watch. Obviously, if you could get Rosenthal back, that would be good. I'd imagine that there would be a suspension around him coming back here. But this, again, would be an example. And I don't want to get in on this too much because it's not happening, right? I mean, like, as of now, there's no official report that Rosenthal could or is coming back. So if Orgeron made those public comments yesterday with that being solid information that he's not coming back, well, then that's what it is. And that's the head coach being honest. If he's got potential to come back, this would be another PR miss. You know what I mean? A simple misstep of public relations where you don't have to say that publicly. Or if you're asked about Rosenthal, just say you're not ready to comment on it.
If it's not set in stone, then don't say anything.
Exactly. So, but again, I don't want to criticize and I don't want to overly critique because, all of the Rosenthal coming back to LSU stuff is nothing but hearsay and rumor up to this point with no validity behind it. I mean, there's zero validation behind that report as of this moment. And we've worked the phones, we've worked the contacts, and we've talked to people, and that's what I'm telling you. I mean, what they're telling me is what I'm telling you. So, if anything was to change on that, then we would obviously give our opinion. But Rosenthal seems to be moving on in the transfer portal.
When you talk suspension, would it be a little bit like how it was with who was the left tackle that got to pick and choose?
Sadiq Charles.
Sadiq Charles. Would it be a little bit like that where you can
I don't know,
pick your spots of where you want to suspend him and play it out that way? And he sits out McNeese State, he sits out UL Monroe, but he's there for UCLA. Like,
I don't know.
People, people know what happened. It's not that it's it seems to be common knowledge of why he would be suspended or wanted to leave.
I know there's been minor tweaks to the policy, and that being one of them, where the coaches could choose the games that the player was suspended for. But he's a multiple-time offender. I don't know what that means for Rosenthal and what that would add up on a suspension. My guess is it would be multiple games, and I mean multiple. I mean like
more than
5.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, this is a year in which Rosenthal has to believe if he's got any future at the next level, you've got to produce now. I mean, I saw him at the LSU football camp that they were putting on a couple of weeks back where he was running through some. He looked great. You know what I mean? Like, he looked like he was ready for the season. But, here we are. So let's talk to Will Wade. Obviously, Wade got some great news yesterday, and we will talk to him about that. Give me 30 seconds to reset. I'll be right back here with LSU head basketball coach Will Wade on the Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you daily by Geaux Chevrolet. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. All right, a lot of love inside of the bunker for A-Bear's Specialty Meats Love
a lot
that.
of meat talk.
Yes,
A lot of
indeed.
meat.
We'll be talking a lot about
Meat milk.
A-Bear specialty meats and giving you good giveaways and opportunities to stop in. Got great locations. They're over in Lake Charles. They're in Lafayette. They're in Baton Rouge, Prairieville. Great news for the LSU basketball team that Darius Days shared with the public yesterday. We appreciate him doing that right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. That was help of our good friend, the American Gangsta. Best coach in college basketball, putting together the squad that everybody's talking about in the SEC. Adam Miller lighting up the Olympics or the Team USA and U18 squad. And his offseason is looks like it is moving along very well, as Darius Days yesterday gave the good word. Will Wade is here with us on this Wednesday morning. Good morning, Coach. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Doing really good. Darius Days was the news of the day yesterday in the basketball world. He was everywhere with his announcement that he was coming back. What does that do for your program?
Well, it's huge. I mean, it certainly gives us a veteran presence that we with some leadership. He's obviously a tremendous player. He's a great shooter. He's somebody that really we had to play out of position last year. He really sacrificed a lot for our team, sacrificed a lot for some of the other guys by playing the five and playing out of position for us. And, the effort he gave at that position, he should have, had 10 or 12 rebounds a game instead of 8. But he's somebody that's a known quantity. He's a first-team All-SEC player, and we look for him to have a career year. Look for him to have his best year this last year coming up.
When he plays at his best, when he feels most comfortable, where is he?
He'll play the 4. He'll play some other spots too, but mainly the 4. That's where I think he feels most comfortable, and that's we have to take the feedback of what what the NBA teams and what some of those guys say, and so you've got to take that feedback and put it into his game. So he's been working hard at it with his training down in Florida, and we're gonna work extremely hard at it as we get going when he gets back this weekend. So. I think the 4 is more of his natural position. That's what he played for us the first 2 years, and that's what he'll get back to playing this year.
This might be a mouth breather question, and I apologize in advance because this is a very fan question. Could you name your starting 5 right now?
No, no, not at all. I tell you what,
one of them's in the G League.
It's going to be, it's going to be extremely competitive. I mean, we've got. I mean, the good news is we got good options.
Yeah.
Everywhere. But no, I couldn't even come close right now because we could play a bunch of different ways. We could go really big with 6, 7 and above, 3, 4, and 5. We could go big at guard. We could be physical at guard. We could be small and quick at guard. We've got a bunch of different things we can do. I haven't, Colbert gets here this weekend. We haven't really seen Colbert. And he's long and athletic and can block shots. And so I think he can do some things that can help us. So we just haven't seen everybody, haven't seen how everybody plays together and that sort of thing. So no, I mean, I couldn't even begin to think about that, but it's good to have options. I know that.
Yes, sir, it is, and you've got plenty of them going into this season. When you look at your defensive transformation that you have made through the program in the past couple of seasons, a lot of that has taken shape in the offseason. Where are you on this implementation of your new defensive look, or not new anymore, but the way that you play defense in the program?
Well, we'll see. We ain't been very good, so we'll see. Look, I told our guys, and I told them, I'm going to quit talking about it, and we're either going to do it or we're not. Because I sit up here and talk every offseason how we're going to be better at defense and be better at this, better at that, and we haven't been. So for the last 2 years at least. So, do I think we'll be improved? Yes, but that's not a giant statement there. But will we be improved? Yes, but I'm not going to sit up here and pontificate about how much better we'll be here, how much better we'll be there, because we talk about it all the time. Like, we got to do it. And, I think we're off to a good start. I think we have a good sense of what we're doing. I think we've got some physical guys that really want to defend, Adam Miller and Tari Eason and Brandon Murray. They are physical and love to guard. And so I think there's some, I think that'll certainly help us quite a bit, but we got to do it. We want to take the next step and become a, top 10, top 15 type program instead of, top 25 program that we are now. That last little bit's going to be our, getting better defensively. So we got to shut up and go make it happen.
What has been the feedback from Miller down with Team USA? Because I've read great things in just kind of following him, making the cut, and then kind of reading some things around him on the team. It seems like a lot of the things you were saying when you saw him on the floor practicing around the guys for the first time is what the Team USA representatives are saying as his coach. What's the feedback that you're getting?
It's been good. I actually they opened the tryouts up for a little bit up in Dallas. So I went up there and watched them and watched some of the initial tryouts. Flew up there last week to watch him for a day. But, it's been really good. I think he's got a great shot to start at the 2 for him. He's just competitive. He's got a great spirit. He's texted me, ideas he's got from other kids who are there and their programs and stuff like that. He's always trying to learn, always trying to figure things out. So, but no, all the feedback we've gotten from USA and some of the NBA folks that were there has been very, very positive.
Coach, you've built this team to seemingly be very deep. It's full of depth. Is this more of a team that suits your coaching style as opposed to maybe having a couple stars out there? Would you prefer to be able to be where you can roll out maybe 6, 7 guys, 8, and have a rotating bench like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'd prefer that. We've got to, I've got to evolve a little bit. We've done a study of where our guys' efficiency start to decline, and Coach Armstrong's been on me about this, and he's right. We don't really need to be playing our main guys more than 27 minutes a game. After 27 minutes a game, their efficiency just starts going way down. And we were playing guys 35, 36 minutes a game most of the season last year. The reality is, if you look at the Michigan game, we wore down at the end of the first half. We wore down at the end of the second half because we had the same guys out there the entire half. And so, there's some truth to all that. And so, we've got I've got to be committed to not playing guys maybe as heavy a minutes and trusting our bench a little bit more. But I mean, the data is very clear that we should be playing our main guys 27, 28 minutes. I mean, the data couldn't be more clear on that from what we've got. So, I think with that, I've got to make the adjustment, and then we certainly have. If you do that, you're going to have to play 9 guys just to make all the minutes work and to keep everybody fresh. And I think we've got 11 or 12 good options to find 9 guys.
Coach,
so we've got to find the right 9 guys out of that 11 or 12.
Coach, last time we had you on, you fooled us a little bit. You said you were done in the portal, and I guess Days doesn't fall into the portal conversation. But when you talked to him, what was that conversation like, and what was the selling point to get him back to LSU?
It was a long process. I went down to Florida and met with him. Flew down there and met with him. I mean, it was a long process because you want to do what's right. You want to do what's right by him. He's been with us for years. I mean, selfishly, certainly you want him back. But at the end of the day, if he had a chance to really carve a career out of, in a clear, easy, not an easy road, none of it's easy, but a real clear road to a career, that's what you want too. But we had the discussions. I mean, I didn't know till Monday night for sure. He called me Monday night. I was at dinner with recruits. I got up out of the dinner when I saw Days' number pop up on my phone. So, I mean, I didn't even know for sure until, 8:45 Monday night. I kind of knew where it was trending, but he had a workout in Chicago that weekend. And, I didn't know. And so, but we just had open dialogue. I talked to Cam yesterday. Trendon was in town yesterday. He works out for the Pelicans today. So I saw Trendon and we went to dinner. I talked to Javante, had a workout yesterday in Atlanta. I said, you're talking to all those guys every day, trying to help and get feedback and see where things are. But, with Days, we met, we had open dialogue. I met with his family. We did a Zoom to go over, what it would look like if he came back, how it would go, what his needs were, what the expectations were, to make sure that everybody was in line and in alignment. And we certainly were.
The one on Cam real quick. He must be getting good news. Did I read that right of him skipping the combine, of just saying he's got enough feedback to get ready for the draft? No, I didn't. You read it right. I can't say too much, but yeah. I'd say he's in a pretty good spot. Yeah. I'd say he's in a pretty good spot. Yes. Good night for Skylar Mays and just getting some action.
I texted him. I said, "You watched us too much last year, flexing and getting all the technical."
Grabbing teams, dude.
I can't repeat on air what Skylar texted back to me, but I texted him late last night. I said, "You were watching us too much, flexing."
That's good.
The technical, but he was fired up. I thought he looked great. He did his little spin moves and had 2 finishes down there. And I thought he looked great. So I've kind of been rooting for Corey Vincent, who was our GA the last couple of years.
Right.
He left us, and he's in player development for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And his dad's actually Fred Vincent, one of the candidates for the Pelicans job. But anyway, he was with us for 2 years and did an awesome job. He's the best. So I'm kind of hoping for a Phoenix Atlanta finals here. That'd be pretty cool.
I know how much the NBA relationships mean to you and the development of your program. A lot of the guys that have been here, that have been in the league and currently playing, guys like Garrett Temple always talk about coming in here and some of the off-season runs. I wonder if you have a relationship with Ben Simmons, if you have any conversation with him and his people, or what do you anticipate this offseason to be like for him after the struggles that he saw at the highest level?
Well, it's funny. I was talking to Coach Jones about that the other day. Coach Jones and I talked quite a bit, and I was talking to him about that. But I have spoken with Ben and his brother and some of those folks. But I don't know him well enough to get into those in-depth type conversations. But I do know this, and I know I know sometimes what our fans and people, he loved his time at LSU. He loved LSU. He follows us. They were in New Orleans playing a couple years ago, and he was actually going to come over and spend time with us and watch practice and talk to our guys. But their flight got delayed from Philly, and they didn't get to New Orleans in time for him to make it to practice and stuff. So, no, he loved his time at LSU. He enjoyed it. And, I hope he, continues to have a great NBA career and gets everything figured out here.
You tipped everybody off on Sharif the last time you were here, and had everybody going and freaking out over some of the highlights.
You seen those highlights from out in the Drew League?
That's what I'm trying to ask you about. He's jumping over people.
Speaking of catching teams, dude.
He looks great.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing really, really well for us. That's actually his mom's team out there. She's the first female owner of a Drew League team. That's a big deal.
Wow.
It's a huge summer league out in Los Angeles area. So, but yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing great. I was joking with him yesterday. After he dunked on the guy, I stood over him. We went on Twitter and he went on Twitter and, said, I let my emotions get. I said, Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody. Stop all the apologizing, bro. We don't need any of that.
Sounds soft.
Stuck on the guy, let him know it, move on. We don't need all that apologizing on Twitter and all that.
Salute General Wade.
Yes.
Salute General Wade.
Fall in love with the bad boys.
Let's just keep it going, man. We don't need any of that. Just dunk on the guy. Let's move on.
Coach, what do you think about Jay Johnson? Have you met him yet?
I have. Extremely impressive. Extremely impressive. Meticulous. Detail oriented isn't even the right word. And he's got he's got a great pulse on things. I tell you, I mean, he told me 2 or 3 things were going to happen. I looked up online. I catch up early in the morning doing my reading online. And if I didn't see 2 or 3 of those things were happening today, or happened yesterday, because we were talking about the transfer portal and putting rosters together. We spent some time talking about all that and kind of what we went through, and I kind of told him some things, and he told me about what the things he foresaw in the old transfer portal. So, he's meticulous, and he's going to do a tremendous job. I think he embraces the challenge. He's very, very hard on himself. He's got a game plan, and I like him. He's an offensive guy like myself, so I like that about him. But met his wife. She's tremendous, and so he's excited to be here, and I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. Get her in compliance.
It takes a lot to impress you in preparation, because you are a master of that. That says a lot about him for him to impress you in that category.
Well, I don't know if I'm a master of it, but he is detail oriented. Like I said, meticulous. I think he was in the office all the time. He was in the office the other night making calls to kids just to catch up with. And one of the kids said he was driving by at like 10:30, 11 at night. And he said, "Well, come on by," and he ended up meeting with the kid. I know he was telling me about that. I know he's got, I just know he's got a unbelievable work ethic, unbelievable drive. He just has great vision. He was talking about his staff and how he sees all that. Like he just has tremendous vision for what he's going to do, and knows what he needs to do, knows his strengths, and knows where he needs to go. But he's a recruiting machine. But he's got recruiting boards everywhere, and he's got a recruiting board in his house. I mean, he's just a recruiting machine. So
wow,
he'll be very, 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 very good, and I think our fans are going to love it. Like I told him, I said they're with you, win or tie. I said, just don't lose.
Last one, I'll get you out. Is there any advice that you give to him, or can you give insight to the listeners? Because so many people put a lot of stock in Louisiana-bred people running LSU. You're an outsider and having tremendous success. I say an outsider, just somebody that didn't have LSU ties or Louisiana ties when you got the job, a lot like Jay Johnson. Can you talk about maybe the benefit in navigating that through feeling comfortable in this job like you do now?
Yeah, win. Everybody likes a winner. That's a common.
Yes.
That's a common
That's
language. Everybody.
Very true.
Everybody likes somebody who wins. But I mean, no. I tell everybody, this place is unique and special. I say this to recruits too. I mean, I think there's 3 things that make our people are the best. Mm-hmm. I told them this: they're blue collar, hard working. Give you the shirt off their back. They'll do whatever you want to. They'll do whatever you need to do. They'll support you. That's what they do. I said the people are the best. Number 2, the culture is unique. Our culture is very unique, and it's a drawing card for people. Like it's a drawing card for people. The culture, and it's almost like they don't understand it, but they want to see what we got and see what we're about. And so it's very unique for people. And I said, our food. I said, the people, the culture, and the food. And the culture and the food kind of go together. But I tell everybody that's what makes this place, makes this place special. And they want to do whatever possible for LSU to win. I told them that. I said, hey, if they're keeping score, our people care. Trust me. It doesn't. I mean, we'd be playing checkers. If somebody's wearing purple and gold and they're keeping score, they're following it. They want to win. So it's important. But I mean, the biggest thing to do is the people down here. You just got to treat them right, and move forward. I had a good friend of mine, Marty Schaber, who I think you know.
Oh yeah.
He told me when I first got here, the first month, he said, I thought this was really good advice. He said, you're not going to understand a lot of stuff. You may not know everything. He said, just understand this. He said, you can laugh with us, but don't laugh at us.
Wow. That is.
And I thought that I thought that was a really good way to put it.
That does.
And, you know, like there's some stuff that may be a little bit different. And, you know, when we're joking about it, laugh with us, but don't laugh at us for the way we do things. And I think if you do that and embrace that, you know, I think, you know, shoot, I love it here.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lived here my whole life now. And, you know, I'm barking at people about Louisiana when people say stuff bad about, you know, that's just, it is what it is. But, you know, main thing is just win, baby. I mean, just win. And he's going to do that. That program's set up to win. And they got a lot of, you know, resources to win. And they've got a tremendous tradition from Coach Bertman and Coach Maneri and everybody. And so I think that thing's set up to win. And he's going to, you know, he's going to do it. He's going to be able to do more with more.
That is great advice from Marty J. That hits home, because you think about where you went to the next, the next, your trajectory just exploded was in that UL press conference when you took up for and defended for. I mean, people will now run through a wall for Will Wade, and I mean, everywhere we go, people are, Coach, we love you. I mean, it's you can feel it. That is great advice from Marty J. I know I ask you this every time.
An arena, not a gym.
That's right.
I know I ask you this every time, and you tell your clients that it's until the first semester in the first class. You got a huge piece yesterday. Is the roster done?
No, never. I mean, you know, we're sitting pat for now, but we got some ideas. We got some ideas on some things.
Yes, indeed.
Jake's still working.
Jake was great.
Oh, Jake's working. Jake was in overdrive yesterday. We had 2 presentations yesterday. We got another one at 11 today on something. Jake's in overdrive right now. Jake's ready for the 4th of July to watch some fireworks.
He was great on the Jordy Culotta show. Send him our best. Thank you for the time this morning.
I joked with him yesterday. I said, Days has now usurped you as the favorite guest on the show.
Nobody will take your spot, bro. Thank you for this morning. Thank you for your help over the last 24 hours for our show.
All right, guys. Boot up. Have a good one.
Boot up, man.
Boot up.
That could be the best interview he's ever done.
The
here.
Bad boys of the SEC.
I mean, him tell it what he said to Sharif.
Yeah, what are you doing? Apologize.
And then the advice to Jay Johnson. Marty J. Chabert. If you don't know Marty J. Chabert, he is one of Louisiana's finest.
I don't. I was going to ask.
He is phenomenal. I believe he's on the board of supervisors at LSU, or was. He was Edwin Edwards' right-hand man. And when I tell you the guy's he's got Richard Lipsey type stories now, and is a Richard Lipsey type storyteller.
Get him on here.
We can get him on very easily. And he is tremendous. And for I know what he's meant to Will Wade, and just kind of helping him acclimate to the culture, the people, like Wade was just applauding and praising. But that advice could be the best advice I've ever heard. An outside Louisianian, somebody who comes into the state and really endears themselves to the people and to the area as kind of becoming one of their own. That would probably be the thesis statement. It's like the opening line, the mission statement. You can laugh with them. Don't ever laugh at them.
No, that's how you turn them real quick in the wrong direction. But and for something that seems to be very complicated too, like when people come to Louisiana, you don't, like you said, you don't understand it. There's no way to until you come here. But if you just follow that one, like that's the golden rule, I would say. Now I've never heard it put so succinctly like that.
Just very
Makes
simple.
Perfect sense.
Very simple.
Because we're very prideful people, and if you start like coming in here with your wherever the hell you're from,
F. King Alexander, Joe Oliva,
right?
Right.
I mean, why did they turn you off so much? Because they felt like elitists.
Yeah.
They felt like they looked at you and pointed and laughed. They felt like they were behind closed doors talking about how dumb we were, right? I mean, and F. King admitted it.
Yeah.
At his Oregon State deposition, where he would say that, you know, we were talking to these people and Les Miles. It was very much elitism at its finest. I mean, it was on display with guys like Oliva and F. King Alexander running the school, and it's much more relatable to see Will Wade banging on the scores table and getting fired up and being passionate within the game. And I love seeing him call that timeout versus Bob Marlin and the Cajuns late in that game to make sure they knew. I mean, that place started to go rowdy when he walked in. I mean, when he called that timeout. That to me was where Wade's reputation, I couldn't find the word when I was saying it to him, but went to the next stratosphere. Like it went to another level, and then another level is when Joe Oliva a year later suspended him going into that Vanderbilt game, and Oliva and F. King Alexander walked into a sold-out Maravich Center to boos raining down on Alexander and Oliva. I'm telling you, the place got into a chant of F.U. Oliva, where I was sitting with Randy Lanois, one of my favorite, just a basketball junkie. And not to say that he was intimidated or that he was fearful, but he just kind of like gripped the two arms of his chair and just said, "This is a damn coup. This is they're about to riot." I mean, this feels like
a revolution.
The old Roman emperor of like, just kind of like, stuff is about to go down, man. I mean, it was nuts. The scene inside, if you were there that night, and I had the chance to be there, I mean, it was chilling to hear the people pointing at Oliva as he was walking up the steps, taking Will Wade's back. I mean, that was the night that you knew Wade will live on at LSU for whatever happens, however it goes down. He's going to be a legend. And to hear those types of answers to questions about Louisiana people, about the way he feels about the state, about the advice he gives to people who come in from outside the area. I mean, that's the testament to why you love the guy. I mean, like,
extend him.
That's as good as a conversation as we've had in public ever.
Yeah.
I mean, ever. And
he was very energized.
I like to believe that we open him up. Like, he's rarely closed off. There's nothing that I fear asking him.
Right.
And there's no time limit either. There's no, like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So it's like he's cool to hang on the phone, and, like, he'll go from one story to the next.
Yeah, I mean,
without
he's
being asked a question.
laughing on the end of answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that bad boys line, that'll turn you up.
Wow. I mean, make sure we cut that up today, bro.
Right.
Make sure that goes on the
Dude,
social
if
media.
he really wants to lean into that, if we're going to...
Well, I mean, he has.
Yeah, I know, but if, like, saying it out loud,
Bad
I've never heard
boys.
him say it in public. Like, if the team embraces that mentality with
What?
Adam Miller coming in, who seems to be a dog, they're going to be a problem.
That was
And then
so good.
He
It was
called
good.
So
Jay
good.
Johnson a master recruiter. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, this
that's
guy.
my praise,
Right.
Because you are the master of recruiting.
Yeah.
I know we're just recanting about this because it was great, but the way he refers to the portal, the old portal,
Yeah.
I love it.
We were talking, and you know, Barry was telling him, like, I'm about to get this third baseman, this stud from Arizona.
All-American coming. He's like, oh, so you get the portal too. Oh, I got the portal.
And Wade said he wakes up and reading the paper and he sees that the guy's coming. I mean, it's I love the inner competition there. I mean, you know that those two types of person. Put Kim Mulkey in that gumbo.
Ooh,
Let her start. Put her on that text chain.
Transfers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
transfers.
Oh, y'all got an All-American? You picked up an All-American
I picked
today.
up two.
That's cute, Jay. That's cute. I mean,
got an NBA player coming back.
I love that stuff. I mean, that stuff is what Woodward was brought in for.
Yeah.
You want the halls being walked by Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, competitive, just people that love being around one another. That's what the athletic office, and I don't want to speak retroactively of trying to find the past because that's what we were talking, but that's what the athletic office was like during that 1999, 2000, 2001 when you were starving for success, starving for it. Was everybody in there just kind of competing off one another? You know, Saban's recruiters were going out there. You got Marcus Spears, I got Marquise Hill. You know, you got Michael Clayton, I got X. I mean, whoever it was. I mean, it was it feels like that those days are kind of coming back at LSU. That is easy to embrace if you are a Tiger supporter. Daily here, we are brought to you by RMB Builders. Remember, rmb-builders.com is where you find Rhett Bourgeois and his crew. RMB-Builders can help you with anything, a total overhaul, a new reconstruction, reconstruction around the house, a remodel. If you just need handyman work, they're also commercially licensed where they can help you out with an office job. Get in touch with RMB Builders today, rmb-builders.com, rmb-builders.com. Rhett Bourgeois and the crew, great to work with. Coming up this hour, we're going to talk to Shea Dixon. Dixon will come in and we'll talk to him about recruiting. We'll talk to him about some of the roster turnover over at LSU. Eli Holstein, the signal caller over there at Zachary for Coach Brewerton and the Broncos, committed to Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M. What's that mean for the recruiting radar on LSU's board? What does Holstein mean with the shakeup there and him pledging to A&M over the last couple of weeks? We'll also get updates from on guys like Quincy Wiggins and Shaz Preston, guys who have been making the rounds as far as unofficial visits to SEC towns here of late, with Shea Dixon at 8:30 this morning. Tommy Moffit will be here at 8:45. Always looking forward to talking to Coach Moffit. He's always got great information and insight for us over here on the Jordy Culotta Show. So stick around. We'll be back with more, driven and powered by Geaux Chevrolet here every single day. GEAUX Chevrolet.com. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy at jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy at jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. All right, the name to watch here early on in this left tackle debate is Xavier Hill, in my opinion. Cam Wire is going to be the guy that everybody looks at that should be next, and Wire will have an opportunity. But Garrett Dellinger, who is a true freshman who was signed in this class as the only offensive lineman in this incoming freshman class. They picked up a junior college offensive lineman late in the process that Shea knows how to say his name. I mean, his name just kind of rolls off of Shea's tongue. And it's like a Matola. You know what? I'm sorry to the guy already in advance. I'm saying his name completely wrong. But one of two offensive linemen, Garrett Dellinger, in the latest recruiting class will have an opportunity. But watch out for Xavier Hill, as X Hill has been a name that I have continually heard, and I think we all have, as a guy that could potentially plug and play in certain spots or at any spot. His versatility has always been what has been his highest quality, it seems. But he is somebody to watch as a potential replacement for Dare Rosenthal at left tackle for LSU going into this offseason and going into the summer, as this will obviously be an open spot going into competition in fall camp. We'll ask Tommy Moffit about some of the guys, at Cam Wire specifically, Xavier Hill, some of the guys on the offensive line that he's looking to get something out of here this summer. Always appreciate Coach Moffit for coming in, as he'll be here at 8:45 this morning.
And there might be a string of Moffits in the strength and conditioning, like
Yes.
coming through the pipeline after what we heard with Rohan Davies' son.
Yes, Micah Davey, the transformation he made. He gave a lot of credit to Cody, to
Clay?
No, to Clay Moffit. I'm sorry, I was looking at Cody Anderson's his remark here in the in the bunker. Clay Moffit, who is over at Traction right now, and he's working on a lot of guys. I was over there yesterday in the afternoon, and he had his group in there, and you've seen his group kind of start with like 2 or 3 people, and 2 of his guys like were his buddies, and his brother was in that group, and now it's like 10 and 11 guys coming in there and working out with Moffit every day, and he doesn't have that personality like his dad. You know what I mean? He's not in your face and yelling at you and doing all that stuff, but he's got great technique, and he gets the most out of them. I mean, you can tell that all these guys very much respect what he's doing, and they're getting the results first and foremost. So we'll talk to about Clay Moffit coming up here, to Coach Moffit, who Clay got engaged over the weekend. So congratulations to him, as Coach Moffit will have a daughter-in-law. Finally, a female is able to break through to the Moffits.
The Moffit gene pool.
Jesus, man.
Strong swimmers.
I mean, poor Miss Jill Moffit, or I guess I say that, but every time you see her, she's got a great big smile on her face and loves all of her dudes, man. But I mean, the to feed those cats. I mean,
Well, especially what they're doing, like it's enough to have to feed boys, but then like, oh, we all want to be strength and
Right.
conditioning kids. It's
Yes.
like, oh, good lord, how much meat A-bears
Yeah,
holler at me.
one of my buddies was growing up and grew up behind the Moffits, like his house like backed up to the Moffits, and he said like every Saturday morning they'd wake up and the three boys would be like in the backyard, and they'd have like tires and
No
rope
doubt.
swings, and like they'd be going like through obstacle courses at like 6:30 in the morning, and Coach Moffit was out there with like a megaphone, you know, like
Just whistling at 6:30.
get up, keep your feet moving, pick your legs up.
Dad, I'm 7.
Yeah, right. I mean, just freaking them out, freaking
110s in the
freaking
backyard.
the neighbors out. You know what I mean? Like on a hot summer Louisiana morning, you know, like some July morning, hearing Coach Moffit putting his kids through the offseason.
Make a B- on your report card for going to the levee.
Right.
It's like, oh,
So
God.
good. So good. So Mississippi State and Vanderbilt tonight, game 3. We were talking a little bit about it with, of course, Katie, who's got invested interest
Thought we were
here
done talking about that.
as the Mississippi
off.
State.
I know.
Turn it back on.
Dude,
Too much.
Is this going to be a long day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah,
actually.
it'll be a long day, I
Yeah, I feel
imagine.
very anxious.
I said we should put her on the live stream here and make her watch the game.
Make her watch the
and
whole
just
thing.
make her sit here in the chair and just
That's
watch the
awful.
game.
I would have to just close my
Because
eyes.
she turns the game off. She
I
doesn't
do.
watch them.
I mean, David can't stand it. I'm like, all right, it's going off. Don't. And he's like, God. I
Did
mean,
you turn
was
it off
just-
last night?
Oh, so last night I didn't start
Yeah.
watching it. Like, because the night before I started watching it from the beginning. So last night. Why are you looking at me?
These superstitions I'm finding out about you make no sense, but I'm
Very
here
weird.
for it.
Yeah, right.
Stop. I don't. It's weird. I don't know. It's my thing, though. I mean, this is just how I do it. So let me be.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It's
Game
worked
day.
up to this
I
point.
started watching in the third, and then I kind of got weird there too, and was like, did I start too soon?
Last
and, like
night?
David pressured me into it. Like he just turned it on, and I was like, I didn't say you could turn it on.
Golly.
Wait,
Yeah.
so would you
What a
sacrifice?
Terrible, terrible place for that poor guy.
Would you sacrifice not being able to watch for a national championship? If
Yes.
you like, what if you
Yes.
didn't even
yes,
know?
100%. I'd just go back and watch it after. Yes.
Wait, say
I
that.
would-
Give me the scenario again.
If you don't watch, like, if he just doesn't turn on the game, you win a national championship, and you wake up in the morning and you find out.
Ugh.
Like
Yeah,
that's what's the point?
Why are you a fan?
He asked me, do I sacrifice not watching to win the national championship?
And you would.
Yes.
I
If
guess
that's
I
what
would
I have
too.
to
I mean, I
do,
guess-
I
I
mean,
guess
yeah,
if
you
you-
take one for the team.
If you gave me
literally.
this scenario beforehand and said if you don't watch,
Oh yeah,
they'll
that's
win.
different. But
Yeah.
I think it's even worse at her spot where she doesn't know, but
Yeah.
she feels like it matters.
Yeah.
So she's like, well, if I don't watch, and then like it definitely doesn't matter. But the fact that it's in her head, it's so funny to me where she's like, well, if I don't watch, then we'll win. But you don't know that. But it's
No,
just
you don't know that. That's why it's called a superstition.
Yeah,
I mean, you have them. Surely you played baseball, right?
Yes, I did,
Yeah,
and I
all
do.
baseball players.
Would
have
you?
them, so yeah.
Would you leave Omaha? What if you were at the game? Would you walk out of the stadium?
I thought about that too. Yeah, I think I would have to. I would have to.
I mean, I was thinking that some of our discussions yesterday of the height at fandom, some of the things that like I would do, you know what I mean? Like I remember being in Tuscaloosa for Saban's first game versus LSU. So 2007, the year they won the national championship, the year that Hester went up and over. Chad Jones forced the fumble on John Parker Wilson.
Game was all too close.
It was Les Miles.
Yeah.
It was a Les Miles special.
Got
I mean, they were
saved
beating them 17-3 in the first quarter.
the
Beat
couple
them in the first
interceptions.
quarter.
Yes.
Tyson Jackson gets a rough in the passer call and extends the drive, and they throw a bomb and get right back in the game. They return a punt. Stupid Les Miles stuff. You know what I mean? Like
It just happens.
dumb.
That we
stupid
were
stuff.
content with. We were like, that's what happens when you play for
Right.
LSU.
But there was a period during that game, like in the third quarter, where it looked like LSU was going to get beat.
Yes.
I mean, it looked like that LSU was going to lose the game.
Chad Johnson turned,
And I went
Chad
down
Jones turned
into the
tide.
corridor of of Bryant Denny Stadium and piled up with some redneck from outside Alabama and chain smoked cigarettes and could not watch the game. Like would be judging by the
noise in the stadium?
You know what I mean? And just couldn't even bear to watch it because I knew that Les Miles and LSU they were gonna flub this thing and they were gonna send off a national championship team, and Saban was going to screw it up in his first year. I thought for at least we'd have like a 2-year grace
buffer.
period. You know what I mean? Where before he'd start just murdering us on the recruiting trail and on the field. But that was a game that I just remember I couldn't even watch it. You know what I mean? I couldn't even. I went
Makes
back
you
up.
sick.
Yeah, it made me sick. I mean, I couldn't even stand the fact. I mean, I almost wanted to leave the game. Like,
But did you
let's
feel
just.
like you not watching it helped their chances?
Well, I mean, as I was not watching, they were getting worse.
Okay.
That's wanted to leave
You know
at
what
that
I mean?
point. Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were like smoking Marlboro Reds.
That's
God.
the funniest thing about this is like your vice. You don't have many.
Yes.
But your go-to
Give me
is
one of
like a
those.
cigarette. Like I would never pick that out of anything. Like I'm gonna go buy a beer. I'll do whatever.
Yes.
Like no, give me a Marlboro Red with this
Right.
redneck and let's listen to the game.
Because
Because anytime he talks about like having a good time or being stressed, like when he's on the parade float, it's like we were smoking cigarettes. It's like okay.
Why?
And then when he's at Alabama being real nervous, give me a heater, dude.
I think Early Doucette scored on 2 4th downs that night. Like some Les Miles crap, bro. Some Les Miles magic. Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones, Daniel Newman, meeting Minton Newman for lunch today over at Phil's Oyster Bar. In fact, we had when we talked to Will Wade, every time we talk to Will Wade here, it's brought to you by Phil's Oyster Bar. We'll be at Phil's today with Daniel Newman, who handles our finances over there at Edward Jones. We rolled over the 401k. Since we've rolled over the 401k to Daniel Newman, so we've been doing this now for 6 months.
God,
and I
has
think
it been?
yes, because the non-compete runs out on July 14th, which is
We gotta have a party that day.
which is 6 months to the day of my last stop there. Since I have rolled over my 401k
Yeah.
to Daniel Newman, he sent me the summary 2 days ago. He has made $20,000 on the investment.
Daniel.
I mean, bro, like I was like, "What is this?" He was like, "This is your statement." I said, yeah, "I mean, it's plus 20K." He's like, "Yeah, you dick, I made you money, man."
What do you want from me?
What do you want from me, bro? I was like, "Oh, great, let's do lunch. Let's do lunch Wednesday. I'll buy. How's Phil's? We got a charge account there. Well, I'll see you there."
Can I get like a .401k? I don't even need the whole
Telling
thing.
you, dude, this guy Daniel Newman's a wizard, man. Go see him, Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com. I advise you if you work in the plant industry, if you work in Dow, Exxon, BASF, any of the plants, he's got expertise in managing the finances there and help you managing the finances there, answering any questions you may have about your finances, whether it's present or future, 401k, investment, Social Security, all of that. Daniel Newman can answer your questions today. He has been tremendous for us. He promised us the first day we were there that it was going to be easy. It has been simple. Daniel.Newman@edwardjones.com. Find out for yourself today. Email him over there. He's in Central, located right across from Stabs.
It's a dirty C, baby.
His office is right there in Central. Is that at Market? Is it Market Street?
Market Square.
One Market Lane.
Yeah.
One Market Lane.
Well, he's central to the core.
Yeah, it is.
He really
He's a
is.
legend, man.
That's right.
He is a legend.
Guy's a legend out there.
Right off of Lovett Road, everyone.
Guy's a legend out there. Go see Daniel Newman. Daniel.Newman at edwardjones.com.
Let him make
Right
you
off the bus stop.
Man, bro.
Yes, indeed.
How about that?
I mean, for real.
All right, so it looks like that Jay Johnson has a plan put together for beefing up this LSU baseball roster as he goes out and looks like Jacob Berry, who is a freshman All-American, was a freshman All-American for Arizona. Their top hitter, 17 jacks last year, 70 ribbies, is in the transfer portal and could be coming over to Baton Rouge pretty soon here. So the Jay Johnson effect already starting to take place here as the LSU new baseball coach is making moves. The NIL stuff could start on July 1st. Will start on July 1st for 6 states, including Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, and Georgia, which are huge recruiting.
Any of those states have good football teams?
Did I say Florida too?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I believe Florida's in that mix.
Yeah, they are.
Huge recruiting. Obviously, when you look at recruiting components to or opponents to LSU and Louisiana, these states and schools are the most fierce. So you would imagine that John Bell Edwards would be feeling the pressure to get the bills signed here over the next couple of days on the NIL stuff to make sure that they're set to go on July 1st to keep up with the rest of the recruiting world in college football. And this is going to be interesting to watch from afar on how they handle this. ESPN had a write-up and just kind of talking about what to anticipate, and they actually caught up with Stephanie Remp, who is the associate athletics director at LSU, and she was quoted in saying to ESPN last week, "It's like building an airplane while you're flying. That's what we're doing," according to Remp, as most athletic department officials around the country assumed for much of the past year that the NCAA or Congress would eventually prescribe a set of nationwide rules to guide them through this specifics on what athletes can do, provide the infrastructure to enforce the rules, but that has just not happened. Obviously, we talked about how Congress laughed at Mark Emmert and in the NCAA when they were brought up on Capitol Hill a couple of weeks back. And the NCAA, if I read over the last 24 hours, see if you can't find this for me on social media, that they actually put out a couple of guidelines on NIL. Like, for the first time, they've recognized something that will give some sort of structure to name, image, and likeness as far as it's said. And it is not
Not a rule.
Yeah, it's nothing.
The NCAA seems like such a PowerPoint company. Like, they probably rolled out a PowerPoint, like, let's make a couple bullet points. We'll send this out. Do y'all use Twitter? Anybody know how to get Twitter going? And put this thing out. And, like, nobody's paying attention to him anymore. Mark Emmert's last stand on C-SPAN 2, which was riveting television, was just, you're watching a man, like, lose power. It was sand through his hands.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop. And he got to the point where he almost got upset. And it was just like, you can't be upset. No, he's been robbing kids blind for however long the NCAA's existed. But that analogy scares me a little bit. The building a plane while we're flying.
I know, right?
Because I don't know if that's just an LSU thing or if that's everybody in the country.
Well, I think it's everybody in the country because she went on to say,
Right.
I don't think I had any idea of how big of a lift this would be. We all assumed it would be run through the NCAA or Congress for the longest time. You just don't naturally go down all these rabbit holes 6 months ago. We just kept it big picture, and then when it got confusing, we said, "Oh, somehow we'll just figure this out." And now here we are.
Right. You don't know how to get it done, but you know you have to get it done.
Right.
It has to happen.
And it sounds like that's going to be the feeling about it, around it, well into this.
So why are the other states' laws that different? Like, I know, like, the Louisiana law prohibits an athlete from endorsing alcohol.
Right.
So I think she said somewhere in there, like...
I don't know. Is it Louisiana or is that LSU? Is that LSU's guideline or that's Louisiana?
Law.
Okay.
Yeah, apparently. So, I mean, then if they endorse a restaurant and it sells alcohol, like, how does that muddy the water? Like,
Gotta be. I mean,
saying. Like, do other states not have these same laws? Like... How is Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, how is everybody else doing this? It's only Louisiana?
Because they're saying yes and asking questions later.
You have to.
I guess so.
So I have the draft, the NCAA's temporary NIL solution. And one of the rules is individuals should report NIL activities consistent with state law and or institutional requirements. So it goes by whatever the state says. So say Alabama and the state of Alabama don't have a rule against them promoting alcohol, then they can do that. But an LSU player can't if it's against Louisiana state law.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's what. Whenever we had the representative on, that's what he said. Like, we're dumping it. It's in the. It's on. Yeah, yeah. It's on the colleges. We're putting it on the state schools to figure it out because there's technically no rules.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gonna be. We're gonna look back at this in 5 years and be like, I can't believe that somebody got this much, or something's gonna happen. That's gonna be the tipping point. Like, there has to be rules, but for now, I think it's gonna be awesome.
I know business owners in town that are prepared to pay Derek Stingley Jr. 6 figures to promote their product next season. Sure. I have spoke to them, and they are ready to make and cut the check today. Like, he will be making 6 figures next season to play college football and promote companies. I mean, it's sitting in trust right now. You know what I mean? It's like, you guys legalize it and the check is in the mail. And it is going to be wild to see how this is managed and how it is. You know what the most interesting dynamic on this thing is that nobody is really speaking about? I've heard it discussed a little bit, but it's going to be the locker room dynamic. The locker room dynamic of he's getting paid, but I'm the superstar, or he's getting all this money and I'm not getting any attention, or that guy's getting this and I want that, and what it's going to do to the locker room, how you're going to have to manage the locker room, and it is very much going to be like a professional locker room now, where you've got classes. You know what I mean? You've got classes, you've got tax brackets.
Right.
You know what I mean? You've got guys that are making so much money. You've got guys that are underpaid. You've got guys that are fighting for a contract. And then you've got the true freshmen that are coming in there and just trying to make their spot.
Well, then there's going to be other cats that know how to run the social media game that probably aren't very good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But because of their presence with LSU football, and they're recognized as that person who does TikTok or Twitter or whatever, and they're going to get cut a fat check, and you're going to have like a number 2 corner going, how the hell is he making any money? 58, ain't doing shit.
Yeah,
so that'll be a dynamic too. If I'm the coach, we pull all the money together. Everybody put your money in the pot, and we'll divvy it up throughout the year, performance-based. Monetary expectations.
Yeah, because I mean they have guys on TikTok.
So if you're Derek Stingley, you think that Stingley's going to give up?
Well, he's getting his money anyway.
You think he's going to throw that $150K into the pot?
I'll give 50.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you 50 if you let me keep my 100.
Exactly. Yeah. Now we're all pulling the same rope.
It's going to be wild.
Mm-hmm.
This is a landmark time in college football. Like, I don't know if people realize it, just because it's happened so quickly. This is an absolute landmark time in college football where the landscape will completely change. It's not what you think.
Yeah.
It's what it was, but now it's out in the open, and you'll see it play out right in front of your eyes. It'll either be a catastrophe, and then the NCAA or somebody will step in and have to regulate it, or it's just going to be awesome. It's just going to be people are making money. You'll see these college athletes exposed, and I'm excited for some of the kids that will never make it to the NFL that can still make, get stroked a check and I made a little scratch while I was in college, had a good run.
Right.
It'd be great.
Here's the deal.
Get me my NCAA video game back.
Yeah.
It starts tomorrow.
Right.
Like, it starts July 1st in these states. Tomorrow.
Wouldn't it be this week, maybe?
Well, he's got to sign the bill.
I know, but isn't he expected to do that this week?
Yeah. I mean,
it should be doing it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it should be happening probably today to be enacted starting tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow, legitimately, in the state of Georgia, I mean, it's a signed bill. In the state of Texas, you can pick up the phone, get in touch with the Texas starting quarterback or the Texas point guard or the Texas A&M shortstop and give them money to promote their product while using their name, image, and likeness. I mean, this is a monumental day in college athletics. I mean, it is a revolutionary type day that will always be landmarked. I mean, you will always remember July 1st, 2021. Right. I mean, it will be in the history books forever as something that.
Do you think it'll ever get to where they have like a patch on their jersey of like of your individual sponsor? Like if Canes wants to throw Derek Stingley, I'm just saying, I'm just speculating. But if you want to give him $1 million to put that on the jersey for a game, a season, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, who's to say that can stop?
But like, I know
Nike,
Waffle House makes like arm sleeves, and so I'm sure they'll be like, "Hey, pop that arm sleeve on, and I'll give you some cheddar."
I don't think you can do stuff to the jerseys, right?
But what happened? I think Nike would own all of the in-game promotion. Like, I mean, you would probably break your Nike contract if you had
I think you would.
But I mean, you can even wear it during a warm-up, whatever they show you, like pregame, and just throw on that Waffle House sleeve, and you're just like, "Oh my God, that's Waffle House," or like the Supreme. That's what NBA did.
One of these trial attorneys is going to throw a hat on whoever the superstar is and pay them an ungodly amount of money where they don't allow them to say no. Right. You know what I mean? Like, what? Name your number. I mean, some of these guys spend $1 million a month on advertising. Yeah. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
This is the biggest fish in the sea now.
Exactly. Go ahead, Max Johnson. See if you can outprice me. You know, well, give me $300,000. Sweet. You take cash or check. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be.
And then Max Fox was like, damn, I could have got 500.
Yeah, exactly. and Walker Howard sitting there watching saying, I am going to get $500,000.
Sony, where are you at?
It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be wild. Give me a break here. Let's see if Shea is ready to come in here next. We will get you set up with let's see with the Jordy Culotta Show, as we're brought to you by Falaya Real Estate. I've gotten so many people tell me around town that they have either got in touch with Barrett Blondo, they wanted to use Falaya services, they were asking about how they can get in touch with Blondo, but it seems like everybody that is trying to sell their house, interested in selling a home, is wondering or curious or using Falaya's service. And Barrett Blondo has really changed the game in which way real estate is bought and sold here in Baton Rouge. Everything is changing. The way that you buy and sell houses is changing, and Falaya is making it easier and a whole lot cheaper. They've got virtual tours. They've got push-button offers. Falaya is redefining how real estate is sold. If you want more information, go to falaya.com or simply download the application today. The Falaya app inside of your Apple stores, inside of your Android, your Google stores, they will get you set up over at Falaya, falaya.com. Hopefully Shea Dixon next year on the Jordy Culotta Show.
Don't we love him?
I dropped the.
Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, jordy@jordyculotta.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. jordy@jordyculotta.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show. But it is always good to catch up with the man, the myth, Shea Dixon.
I didn't realize that I was just trying to get comfortable and put my hand down and just sort of
Really Wade.
all over
Easy
General
over
Wade.
there. Easy over there.
Is this art? Are we allowed to touch this? This should probably be sitting somewhere else.
That's an NFT.
This is a whole vibe going on right here.
That's
I feel
right.
Like.
How about the Will Wade vibe, Coach? Tiger's going to be looking good next season with Darius Days announcing he's coming back.
Yeah, we a sense of some glue, right? I was telling you last night when nobody is ranking this team top 25, and it's tough because he's almost just put together a pickup squad. Like everyone around the country, you in, let's roll.
That's who wants to run. It's like, oh, they're all good.
And he just called
There's
them
some
the
guys,
bad
once
boys.
you get here, you don't want to be in? All right, later. So
You can't play here.
You want to run twos? Can't run.
We can call Johnny Jones for you.
I'm excited. I think it'll be a fun team to watch.
All right, football stuff. Dare Rosenthal in the news right now. He is in the transfer portal. First off, what do you make of the story, and what's it mean for the offensive line?
Well, I mean, it's a story that we've heard before, right? Getting into some violation of team rules, which kept him out of games last year, and now it's become sort of a recurring theme, and for him that means moving on. I think Baylor would be a team to watch, right? I mean, half that staff from Mateos to Jeff Grimes as the OC, obviously Aranda, Dennis Johnson recruited him out of Faraday, so a lot of the on-field coaches there know him. You know, you could go over there. They've got spots. That's a big thing. You have to have counters left. I mean, LSU only has 25, for instance, so they already hit the 25. They couldn't go out and take anybody else. So a lot of these teams are going to be out of the mix that would probably love to have them because they've already filled up with guys. So Baylor would be the one to watch, and I'm curious, man, because, look, all 5 of these starting O-linemen came back. You sort of expect that through another offseason, that they're going to make some real strides, and it's a big deal when your left tackle, who really, there was some thought out there that he was the one who had the highest draft, prospect or status or stock or however you want to put it. Ingram might be the most talented, but Dare's upside certainly was there as perhaps the best, and now it's left to wonder what could have been in a year where you're sort of whole new offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, all that. You'd love to have your left tackle, and now they'll move forward. It sounds like with Cam Wire. Yeah,
Cam Wire seems like the name to watch there. Do you have somebody's name outside of Wire? We've seen Wire play, but one of these names that you've been looking for, the Bradfords, the Xavier Hills of the world, of somebody that could step in? Could Garrett Dellinger be a guy?
And I think Garrett Dellinger could, if he's talented enough, could be the Cam Wire, a swingman of sorts who can play inside out, be the 6th guy for you whenever needed. I do think it'll be Wire. I think that Dellinger's one to watch. Let's see how Marcus Dumerville's come along. He's been playing at right tackle, though, behind Deculus. Let's see how Xavier Hill's been coming along. He's been really a guard in high school, we thought, and now he's been a left tackle backup to Dare and to Wire, so now he moves up in the pecking order there. But yeah, I'd imagine you've got to move forward with Wire and see where it goes from there. Bradford, for me, just seems like you can stretch and maybe put him at right tackle, but he seems like a guard all the way. So maybe he's at that right guard spot, still battling Chasen Hines. But, hey, look, better if there's some sort of silver lining. This didn't happen a day before the UCLA game. You know, Cam Wire's got a couple months to figure this out. So
I agree with that wholeheartedly. Every year during the recruiting cycle, Louisiana has one or two prospects that Alabama and Nick Saban circle, and they go after, and they make it a headache, or they either get them out of LSU and Louisiana's backyard. It seems like Quincy Wiggins is this year's guy, where they have turned up the heat on Wiggins over the last couple of weeks. I'm just following him on social media and seeing how many times he's making the trip to Tuscaloosa.
You getting on Twitter, Jay Cool?
Well, that's on that Graham game, Coach.
That's where it is.
That Graham game is that can keep you up to date.
Yeah, I think when Le'Veon Moss at his trip
and then
I
was about to say Le'Veon Moss is a commitment to Alabama. Who is the biggest threat here? What do you see going on?
Well, I mean, and let's also paint the picture of what I see to be the reality of O's done a really good job of keeping guys home. And you look back, and Devonta Smith obviously was a big name, but beyond him, Sopsher is the one guy who left and went to Bama. He's not even at Bama anymore, and never panned out. So, not that LSU didn't want him either, but that one didn't sting you like the Heisman winner did. And again, though, even with Devonta Smith, LSU's never short on receivers. But point being, I think O's track record is good enough to think they'll be able to keep these guys home, right? Even if Le'Veon Moss is committed, if they really want him and they're pushing for him, he lives right down the road here in Baton Rouge. I mean, you can continue to buckle in there. I think that Trevante Citizen and Moss will be the guys to watch at running back, and I don't think that they'll be in a hurry to make moves with other guys outside the state, because I think they'd like those two to stay home. But no doubt, after you get past, like, Nick Saban would kill for Will Campbell. He ain't going there. He would take Walker Howard, the number 2 quarterback in the country. He ain't going there. He loved Jacoby Matthews, 5-star safety. He ain't going there. So now you're down to the 4th and 5th guys on the list, and that's Moss and Wiggins. Those are the number 4 and 5 ranked players, kind of consensus in the state. So it's no surprise to see that's where they've zeroed in on. They got the commitment from Moss. Like I said, we'll see where things go. I'm so high on Wiggins. I mean, he was so good at camp.
Coach.
He's only played 1 year of football. He's, so that sort of the ceiling is way up there compared to most guys, given he doesn't have much playing experience. He's a basketball background guy with Coach Jones at Madison Prep, so he's got athleticism. And you just see him, he looks like he's ready to, I mean, he could be in Moffitt's strength program right now, and he looks great. So that's, for me, a guy who's going to wind up being, no doubt, top 5 player in the state. And there could be some years where he'd be the number 1 player in the state. He's just run up against a year where they're really top-heavy with 3 or 4 or 5 guys who are super good. I mean, they've already got 3 5-stars in the class from Louisiana.
What does the Eli Holstein commitment to Texas A&M mean for LSU's board and the quarterback board in the future of Louisiana?
Well, I mean, actions for me always in recruiting speak the loudest. I've always said this on Go 24/7. Fans talk about it now and repeat it all the time from when I would say it, not like we would be predicting where kids would go. And I would say, just remember, follow their actions and not what they're saying. And then I wouldn't, follow that line of thinking. And I would still say, no, they're going to go to LSU or whatever. And people said, no, listen, Shea, you said follow what they're doing. This was the first month kids could see coaches in 15 months, and Eli Holstein never came to campus.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was very obvious that they don't have the interest there. So many people will make it into be a thing of, well, of course, like Eli and Walker were at STM, and Walker was the older guy and won the job, so Eli went to Zachary, and he's not about to follow him back to LSU. I think more than any of that, I think that Eli probably wanted to get outside the state, and this is what I liked about it, he didn't make any drama of it.
Yeah.
It ain't signing day. In fact, he was one of the first guys to commit for this class when you look at it. I mean, obviously, Walker's on board for this current one, but you look at next year and the 2023 dominoes, and not just in Louisiana, nationally, no quarterbacks have really committed. So Eli said, hey, look, I'm making visits to A&M, Ohio State, Bama, Clemson. I'm going to throw at all these camps. I'm going to pick up the offers, and I'm going to pick the school I feel the best about. And then I've got 2 years of high school football left in front of me. So we'll see how it all plays out for him. He's headed to Aggie land. But for LSU, I think it was clear that that wasn't going to be the end game for him in the 2023 class. And I'm not saying it's going to be Arch Manning either. Look, you've got Ricky Collins over at Woodlawn. They've got national guys they've recruited. But I don't think anyone ever really thought it would be Eli Holstein. So from an LSU perspective, it works out for all parties. The Holsteins find a fit they feel comfortable with, and LSU isn't sitting around wondering, much longer, at least until beyond even his junior year, where he's going to go to school.
You in a rush this morning?
I don't know. Why? What are we about to do?
I want you to hang out during the Moffit interview and do that, and then maybe at 9 o'clock when we go off, we kind of pick this back up for a couple of minutes, do a little Q&A with some of the people that are still here on recruiting.
Well, I can't turn the fans down now.
No,
You said it. I mean, Jesus.
I mean, you could say no if you wanted to, Shay, but it'd be on you, bro.
They just hate you.
Heads up, Lloyd. You're working overtime.
Well, yeah.
You didn't-
So let's do that. We got Moffit coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We'll talk to him in the next 2 minutes, and then Shay will sit in for that interview. He'll be along with us for that, and then after it, we'll stick around for a couple of minutes for a couple of more recruiting questions. If you have any specific recruiting questions for Shea D, I'm monitoring the bunker over here on YouTube.
Slide in the chat.
If you're on Facebook, the Facebook numbers have been doing good, so we need to monitor Facebook on any questions there on recruiting. We'll get them to Shea coming up here in about 10-15 minutes. Let's talk to Coach Tommy Moffit next here on the Jordy Culotta Show. And we will get back to recruiting with Shea Dixon. As daily, we are brought to you by Nevadis. Remember, Nevadis can help you with your custom web design. They can help you with your custom mobile app design, and they can also help you with streamlining your work inside of your office and helping things move faster. They can digitize paperwork. They can digitize billing. All of that can be seen online at Nevadis.com. Randall Nachman and his crew overhauling some of our web designs and helping us out with a mobile app, and been great as far as the communication goes. Custom software development, they can help you with all of that over at Nevadis. Nevadis.com. Find out how they can help you today. We'll talk to Coach Tommy Moffit next here, strength and conditioning coordinator from LSU. Shea sticking around. We'll talk more recruiting before we get out of here on the Jordy Culotta Show here on this Wednesday morning. Are you self-employed? Then you need to learn about Angel Oak's Home Loans Bank Statement program that they're offering, which makes you eligible as a self-employed borrower to purchase or refinance a home without requiring a tax return. If you want to learn more, get in touch with me. Email me, Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com, to learn about the bank statement loan program offered by Angel Oak. Jordy@JordyCulottashow.com to learn more. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Geaux Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Geaux Chevrolet. Remember, Geaux Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back in here to the Jordy Culotta Show on this Wednesday, presented by Geaux Chevrolet. Shea Dixon sitting in with us here on this Wednesday morning. We talked to Will Wade earlier. Talked to the shakeup of Jay Johnson over at LSU Baseball as he's making moves. Over at LSU Football, it is the off season, which means that Coach Tommy Moffit is in his element as he is running the program and getting the guys ready for the fall, getting them ready for the competition that'll start the first weekend in September over at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. Still have your chances to get on that trip with Mr. Fun. But we welcome in Tommy Moffit here to the conversation here on this sunshining Wednesday morning. Good to talk to you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on. And I don't see any sunshine out there.
Oh,
we don't go outside, Coach.
Especially so the running for you would start very early this morning if the sunshine was out.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here watching the Tour de France right now. We're off, so I'm watching the tour, and then when you said sunshine, I looked outside. I thought maybe I could go for a bike ride, but it looks like it's about to rain.
Coach, before we get started, 31 years of marriage for you and Miss Jill. Happy anniversary to you and Miss Jill on 31 years of marriage, and then welcoming in finally a female outside of Miss Jill breaks through to the Moffit clan. As Brooke accepted the engagement of Clay over the weekend, and you got a new daughter-in-law on the way. So congratulations to the Moffit family.
Thank you very much. We were worried that she was going to say no after 8 years, but she said yes. So we are excited for those two and excited to have another female in the household.
I have seen Clay working over at Traction. I know you and I have talked a little bit about this off the air, but Rohan Davey came in to our studio, Coach, and we were talking about Micah Davey and the transformation that Micah made since the middle of his senior year up until reporting to Frank Wilson's program over at McNeese. And they gave all of the attributes to Clay. And that was when the light bulb really clicked on for Micah, was when he started training with Clay. I know that he's working at Altus Wealth and he's got a great future in whatever he wants to do, but it seems like in your area of expertise that Junior is just as good as you were back in the day.
Well, I can promise you he's better than what I was back in the day because of all the stuff that he got exposed to, growing up and as an athlete himself. And, yeah, he has a passion for it. Every time he tells me that he wants to coach, I say, Clay, you need to stick to the wealth management. And the people at office, you don't need to coach it. But he has a passion for it. He really loves it. He works with a bunch of baseball players. In fact, he's got a bunch of guys on this year's team that are training with him right now that we're waiting to see what was going to happen. So, yeah, he has a lot of fun with it and does a great job. And that's what Aaron wants to do, too. So Brady hasn't said what he wants to do, but so far, 2 out of the 3 love coaching, man, and they both are going to be really good at it.
Yeah, I was in Traction yesterday, and Clay was running a group, and Aaron was in the group working out with him over there yesterday.
Yeah, it's neat to see that. And, Clay worked with Racy and Torrey Carter before their pro day. And when you're over there, who always trained. And he loves it. But, he really likes the competitive aspect of working at Altus and, that type of stuff too. So he's still able to compete. It's a little different kind of competition, but he's, hard workers are hard workers, no matter what they choose to do in life. And I've always told him, if you're going to be a car salesman or whatever, insurance salesman, CEO, you got to work hard and you got to be competitive. And so it's good to see that, your oldest son is growing up and is, becoming a man, becoming his own person and doing a great job.
What a cool point of view for you that you've raised your family here in Baton Rouge and seen so much success through this LSU football program during your time. 3 national championships. You played for another one. Coach, how much is 5-5 in your motivation this off season, or is it just a new year for this group getting prepared for 21?
Yeah, well, in my entire coaching career, that is by far my worst result. Until last year, I'd never coached on a team in 33 years that won less than 8 games. So that was a tough hill for me, and along with everyone else on the team, to swallow. And nobody was happy with that effort. And everyone since January has done everything in their power to be the best that they can be. I mean, I really feel good about the guys that we have on the team. I feel great about our coaching staff. And so far, the effort has been as good as any effort as I've ever been around. These guys didn't come here to be 5-5. There's not one single person on our roster that is happy with 5-5. And they've done a great job so far. We've got, 3 hard weeks left to go, and we'll see, how it all unfolds.
Hey, Coach, Shea Dixon here. Good morning. Congrats
Good morning,
on all the success in life. Thank you. Yeah, he's watching the tour. I was going to say, what's Moffitt's reaction to if you're running back sprinting down the sideline for a touchdown and someone puts out the cardboard sign and knocks him over? And Moffit,
so that's kind of crazy that it happened. But the great Eddie Merckx was punched once in a race. And for those that don't know, Eddie Merckx is probably one of the greatest cyclists, if not the greatest cyclist of all time. And he was actually punched and knocked off his bike, once by a fan. And that's what makes bike race so much fun. And the passion is so great that the fans, it's kind of an interactive sport. If you look at the mountaintop finishes and things like that, now they have more barricades than what they used to, but the fans can get within inches of cyclists. And a lot of times, on a hard mountain ascent, they'll actually push the cyclists up the mountain.
Wow.
When the team cars are not around, fans will put their hands on the back of the bike seat and push the cyclists up the road, up the mountain. So it's kind of an interactive sport, but as great as it is to have the fans, so close to you, that's where it gets a little crazy. It's been a crash field race. Yesterday, I think, was the first stage that didn't have a big crash. So it's been great to watch. And still, I love college athletics. I love, professional sports. But to me, this is kind of one of those obscure sports along the lines of weightlifting and wrestling. But it's a great sport to see these guys get out here on this bicycle and suffer, for over 100 miles a day. It's not like these guys are, pedaling down the road and back. These guys do over 100 miles a day for 21 days. Pretty neat sport.
Could you imagine Death Valley with fans on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. People would be getting hit with bottles and stuff. So, yeah.
Need a holdback guy for the holdback guy.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Coach, look, all the new age technology, monitoring these guys, every pit, which way there is, sweat, everything. Sometimes you got to get back to the nitty gritty, and you had these boys running stadiums all summer. What was the takeaway now that you put them through it?
Since we quit running stadiums, I don't remember what year it was, I've always wanted to go back, but logistically, it was just a tough thing to do. So Coach Geaux was over there running stadiums, and one day in passing, he just mentioned to me that he'd like to see the boys run the stadiums. And I said, Coach, I can make that happen.
First
You make
page
it
of the
happen by
program.
4 o'clock, Coach.
Yeah. So that day, I went over there that day and mapped it out. It was funny. Verge was in there running, and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him, and he smiled from ear to ear. He even thought it would be neat. So, it was really good. It was different. It was the best thing about it. It was different. It wasn't any harder than some of the other workouts that we do, traditionally. But it was different. And it wasn't as much of a cardio workout as it was a quad, strength and power workout. So we did have the monitors on while we ran. And it wasn't nearly the cardio workout that a lot of them thought it was going to be, but the effect that it had on the lower body from the first day they came back, because we did them on Friday, so that Monday when they came back, every one of them said their calves were about to explode. So it trained a different set of muscles that we had trained in a while, and so it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And we staged it so the fast guys were up front. We had 10 lanes with 10 guys, 10 or more players in it, and we started each line at the same time. So the wide receivers, I had 5 offensive players going at the same time, along with 5 defensive players. So it pitted your fastest guys against one another to the top. And then we went, all the skill guys, all the mid-skill guys, and then all the big guys. And, if you got passed on the way up, and we spread everybody out. So if you got passed, you weren't running very fast. So you got moved back. Every time you got passed, you got moved back further back in the line. I mean, it was a lot of fun, man. It was competitive. It was tough because it was a quad burner. And I think it's helped our squat some. It's one of those things that I didn't see, but it helped us in our squats a little bit. Our squat numbers went up because of it. So it was a lot of fun, man, and it was challenging. It was more challenging mentally than I think it was physically, because this group of players have never done it before. And it's kind of like when you're standing at the base of the mountain, you're fixing to climb Mount Everest or Mount Rainier, whatever it is, you look up, you're like, oh my God, that's a big, tall mountain. I'll never make it up. Then you make it up and you're like, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And that's kind of the way the stadiums were. So it was a lot of fun. It was a blast. Y'all should have come out there and did it with.
Oh, I wish we would have gotten the call, Coach. Next time we're in.
The back of the line.
LSU,
At the back of the line.
LSU football strength and conditioning coordinator Tommy Moffit joining us here on the Jordy Culotta show. Coach, your evaluation of the young offensive linemen. A lot of people believe that there will be some new faces on the offensive line that will have opportunities this year. Have some of the names jumped off to you, and what does that group look like in their off-season training?
Yeah, it's going great. And, when we recruited them, we thought that, or when the coaching staff recruited them, they thought there would be some good ones in there, and there are. Probably there's 2 guys that really jump off, immediately, and that would be Garrett Dellinger and Chemo. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. I mess up the Polynesian's last name, but Garrett Dellinger and Chemo have done a great job. Marcus Dumaville and Mario Martinez are both doing a great job also. But I think Dellinger is probably the one that is the closest, to being prepared to play physically and mentally and emotionally. And then Chemo, although, he's just gotten here, I am amazed at his level of flexibility. He's quick twitch. He can really, in the weight room, watching him snatch and clean and jerk, you can see that he possesses a lot of explosive strength and speed. He's got phenomenal flexibility. So I think overall it's a more athletic group than we have recruited in the past. They're more fit than some of the guys that we have recruited in the past, and they're very smart. So they're going to be really good players as they continue to get stronger. And the one thing that all of them have to do, and it's Xavier, it doesn't matter if it's Xavier Hill or Charles Turner or Anthony Bradford or any of our young offensive linemen, they all have to continue to get stronger and continue to push themselves and get in shape. So one of the things that like Jack Marucci always talks about is the big kid syndrome. And when you're at, there aren't a lot of big kids in high school athletics unless you're at a school, a big school with a big student population. And a lot of times the big kids get an easier pass than some of the other guys. So when they come here and try to compete at this level, there's a lot more work that has to go into being great than just being the big kid in school. And I think that's the thing that these guys have to work on the most is, continuing. Although they're big kids, they have to continue to get stronger, and they have to get a lot stronger to compete at this level. And they're working hard at it. They really are. And again, they're a much leaner group of guys, except for Anthony. And Anthony is a big dude, but they're a much leaner group of players than what we have recruited in the past. And that's exciting for me, the strength coach.
Coach, you mentioned never being a part of a team that's lost fewer than 8 games. What does that do coming into this year? Like, what do you do differently if you feel like it's on you a little bit? Yeah. And then what's the attitude of the team?
Yeah, it pisses me off. I punch myself in the mirror every day. I do. Yeah, I punch myself and say to myself, I hate you. I mean, and I'm not going to make any excuses about last year. Last year is in the past. The only thing that I can do as a strength coach is look toward the future. And, the training, the means by which we train at hasn't changed significantly in 34 years. But there's extra motivation. If I said there was an extra motivation this year, I would be lying because, again, nobody at LSU, never in my career have I won less than 8 football games. And I hate that. It's embarrassing. And I put far more pressure on myself than anyone would ever put on me. And, I'm motivated by failure. They tell you're supposed to be motivated by success, but that's not how I was raised. You're supposed to win. Losing, you really have to screw some things up to lose. And I'm supposed to win. I'm supposed to train these guys. It's my responsibility to do a good job every day, no matter what the record is. If we're 15-0 or 5-5, I'm supposed to do my very best every day. And that's the attitude that I have taken to work. And anybody that has ever worked along beside me understands that. I bring the pain every day. And so there is extra motivation because I hate being 5-5. I've been 5-5 since the last football game, and I'm not going to be any better than 5-5 until I win my 6th ball game, and then the 7th, and then the 8th. And so, yeah, I hate it. I hate it, and I can't even begin to tell you how bad I hate being 5-5, or I hate being 8-4.
Yeah.
It's sickening if you ask me. So yeah, I'm working as hard as I can, and our staff, our strength and conditioning staff, and I can't say enough. It doesn't matter if it's Jacob Riedel, who's second in command, down to our youngest intern, Corey Bell. Our staff is unbelievable. And the amount of effort that they put into this football team during the month of June. Shea came out there one day. He blessed us with this present.
Not at the workout.
And you couldn't have found Emily anywhere. But we had we had 4 workout groups a day. We had camps, every day. We had official visits, unofficial visits, and my staff worked their tail off this entire time and didn't blink. And so it's been great so far, and to be working alongside such an incredible staff like we have has been phenomenal.
Coach, and I'm not surprised to hear you say any of that because I wouldn't expect anything less from you. But when you can you point to one thing that's a difference in the team between last year and this year? Like, what would be the one thing that would make them better?
Well, their attention to detail. It's so we keep attendance records for our team, and we seldom like our attendance. We usually have like 99. So our attendance averages in the 99th percent. I mean, it will be like 99.3% attendance, 99.4% attendance. Last year's team had the highest tardiness and absenteeism of any team that I think I've coached in the last 15 years here at LSU. And that is just attention to detail. And, there were a lot of distractions last year, and I don't have to sit here and, go over all that. But that can be an excuse for showing up late or not, doing the right thing, not coming to your 7 o'clock workout group and waiting until 11 and blowing off 3 classes. And the biggest difference has been that. And in our classroom, we had, and I don't know if you ever have Walt Holliday on here, but, Walt is the director of the Cox Communications Center for Student Athletes. And so Walt came by one time last semester, and I asked Walt how it was going. And Walt said that we have fewer misses for academic appointments than any sport in the university.
Wow.
He says and that is saying something. Yeah. When guys aren't missing class, when guys aren't missing tutoring, when guys are doing what they're supposed to do, that tells you that they have the right mindset. And then everything else after that is easy. And, if you can't get them to show up, then you're in trouble. And so it's been really, really good. And then last year's attendance, so when I say it's the worst we've ever had in 15 years or so much, it was like 94%, but when you're competing at this level, then, the smallest percentage point is valuable at this level of competition. And so, that's the biggest difference, man. It's just attention to detail. And when you're told to be there at 7 o'clock, they're there at 7 o'clock. And if something happens, and our rule is you can be excused from anything as long as you call. And if you don't call, then it's just an excuse. And they know that that's the rule. So instead of a guy, not showing up at 7, 9, or 11 like they're supposed to, they'll call in and say, hey, Coach, I've got a flat tire. Or, Coach, I stayed up late last night, didn't finish paper, I got to go turn it in. Or, Coach, I've got a meeting with such and such, I got to go do it. So they're even handling those type of responsibilities and calling us and letting us know. And so it's been great. It's been like it's supposed to be. And because of that, everything else has been better.
Last one, I'll get you out of here. Appreciate your time as always. You are the front line to seeing this rookie class first, and you're usually the one that has to de-recruit them, break them down, take that 5-star status away from them. You mentioned Dellinger as a guy that could step in and help you this year. What have you made of that rookie class since putting your eyes on him and seeing him work?
Yeah, so, it's a really, really good group, and something that, we've always done in the past for those guys, if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, we do up-downs, and this freshman class hasn't done a single up-down yet. Wow. So they've been great. So, and, the offensive linemen, we've already talked about those guys. Armani Gouen and Corey Kiner have been great. Jack Bash is really a tough, hard-nosed kid. When you go back to Armani and Corey Kiner, they're both physically strong, explosive young men who just got to get in shape, got to get in college shape, but they've been great. Deion Smith, he's been here with us since January. Chris Hilton, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas at wide receiver are really good. And, a guy that just showed up who I really like is Bryce Langston. Bryce is going to be a big, strong. Coach O has done a phenomenal job of recruiting on the defensive line, and whether it's Mason Smith, I've already talked about him before. Yeah. He's been phenomenal. Savion Jones reminds me so much of Ali Gay.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Like, if you see those two standing beside each other, they look like the, two towering twin giants. So those two have been great. At linebacker, it's, we have Mike Jones, another Tennessee Tiger on the roster, the transfer from Clemson. He's not a young guy, but he's going to do great. And Bug is going to be great. And all the way down, Major Burns is not a freshman, but he's a new kid. Derek Davis, Sage Ryan, all of these guys have been phenomenal. And it is a great group. And, we have a great walk-on. And I know, some of these guys will play for us on special teams and all. But this year's walk-on group has really been good. It's the best group of walk-ons, and it's important because they're the guys that have to give us a look at practice.
Right.
And they carry a big load every day at practice. And even this group is really a great group of guys. So I'm excited about the depth. We've got a lot of really good young depth on the roster. Matthew Langlois has been really good, too. I forgot about him. And I'm sure I'm leaving some other guys out because there's a lot of them. But
I think you did too.
You might be the only coach on staff who knows who all 25 kids are.
I think you did.
Yeah, I forgot. Matthew is really impressive. So, talking about Rowe, Rowe was in there the other day asking about Matthew because Rowe worked with Matthew a lot when he was young. And so I'm excited about the entire group from top to bottom. We just have a big month ahead of us. They had this week off, so I pray that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And then we'll come back. We'll have 3 hard weeks of training. It's not going to be fun. And then we have another week off before training camp. So in the 5 weeks that we have left, 2 of them they're going to have off on their own just by NC2A rules, with discretionary, non-discretionary days. So they've got a lot of work that they're going to have to do on their own, and it's going to be important they're mature, and we'll find out how mature and how focused they are by the type of work that they do when they're on their own. So it's going to be great. And, last thing, you mentioned it before I did, but when I sit and talk about all this stuff, I think about my wife and how wonderful she's been throughout my career, because I've got a day off and we've got errands to do, and I'm sitting here on the phone talking to y'all, and my wife has always put herself second to my career and really third to the children. And me personally, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've been able to do at this level, and my kids wouldn't have nearly been as successful as they were, with their academics and everything that they have done without my wonderful wife, Jill. And 31 years of pain. Anybody that's spent 10 minutes,
Smart man.
anybody that's ever spent 10 minutes with me knows that I'm a pain in the ass. So my wife has been phenomenal. So I got to let her know that I love her. Yeah, I said that.
It's the anniversary.
Thank you, man. Dang, I didn't think she was catch on it. But guys, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Always, Coach.
Jay, we missed you and Emily this year during camp. Y'all feel free to come out and join us next year. And Jordy, thanks for having me on.
Always, Coach.
Later, Coach.
Send Jill our best. Happy anniversary, and our best to Clay and the family. Thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. There he is. That was 30 minutes.
He was getting his arm pinched at the end.
30 minutes with Tommy Moffit
She was
there.
about to have him on up down. So.
Get your ass on that tire in the backyard right now. It is sun shining. All right, that was good stuff, man.
Talking to his friends on the phone all morning.
And
Drinking
one more
coffee,
thing.
yeah.
She's in the back. Get your ass off the phone,
Tommy, I know what
man.
you're doing.
All right, so good stuff from Coach Moffit. Thank you very much for him stopping by there. Coach Wade was great this morning. Shea Dixon obviously in here with us. Let's get a couple of these recruiting questions and get him out of here, as that went super long.
We can do some lightning round or
With
something. Shit, Moffit had all the answers.
I mean, Lord, that freshman class he went down. You good? Yep. Holler. Just holler when you're done. I've heard so much great stuff about Savion Jones.
Yeah, he looks great.
I mean, I think once he started eating
tall.
like 3 squares a day.
That's what I was going to say. Whenever I saw him, I guess he's probably 6'3", 6'4". I think he's probably 6'4", maybe a little taller than that. But when I saw him, he's your basketball type. So I looked at him, I was like, Moffitt's going to have a blast with him.
You don't even know.
You don't even know.
You got no idea, bro.
I didn't even do anything wrong, Coach. Get out more up.
Just gotta get you big.
So go here. Jason, ask Shea, Reese Mooney out of Denham Springs, out of DS.
Yeah, well, he's a really good baseball. He's a quarterback. He's a really good baseball player too. So there's some thought that he's going to go to college for both, and that baseball will play heavy there. So he had been committed to Houston at one point, I think, but I know he's got some big offers from kind of around the country.
Neil DiBenedetto asked Shea, what are your thoughts on where LSU stands with Walter Nolan? Is LSU losing ground on him?
5-star defensive tackle. He's probably the best defensive lineman in the country, maybe. I think that they're in it, but yeah, they didn't get a visit this month. They were set to get one at the end of the month. They ended up pushing it back to the fall, which I think is probably a smart move. If you really want to make a move from playing behind there, it needs to be closer to signing day. Don't do it now and then lose all the momentum. So if he comes in the fall for a game or something, then it becomes a bit more real for sure.
Jamon Tapp, who is out of Ascension Catholic, out of Donaldsonville, Louisiana, a 4-star defensive end.
He'll be a Bama LSU battle too. And I know he's got Texas A&M, all of that. I feel good about him and Wiggins in the class, and that would be 2 of your more higher-ranked defensive linemen they'll probably finish with. So, again, like I said, Sopsher is the only name that you could point to that they lost in the D-line from Louisiana, and there's been a lot of guys. I would think that they keep both those guys at home.
How often does Alabama offer somebody just to make sure LSU offers them and hopefully takes them? Like, does that happen in recruiting?
Games. Yeah, for sure. Every cycle, I think that happens because out-of-state teams can offer a kid. They don't have to take their commitment. It's you just don't press them. Right. In-state, once you make that offer, it's over because
they're going to commit.
That's it. I'm in, Coach.
All right, cool. I'm in.
Yeah. Actually, that spot.
Let me get back to you. Andrew Messina asked Shea, where does LSU stand with Harold Perkins? Any chance the Tigers stealing from A&M?
Yeah, maybe. Harold Perkins, 5-star linebacker out of Houston. I think right now Blake Baker's doing one of the better jobs from the new coaches of getting in with guys. They don't have any guys committed yet, but I don't think that will last long. I think this summer they'll pick up at least one linebacker. You add another in the fall. They're in there with big names, but Harold Perkins is one of them. And look, we know it all the time with Louisiana guys. This year, Houston is deep, and all of his buddies, a lot of them are going to A&M. So we've seen it with a lot of Louisiana guys.
Yeah.
I'm from here. All my buddies are going there. It makes sense, but boy, LSU's in there. They got him to campus 3 times this month. So there's a chance, good chance.
Michael Murray asked Shea, what's the story behind Walter Bobb? Did LSU miss on him, or was LSU okay with letting him go? And he follows that up and asking, how many kids do you think they end up signing from Louisiana?
I think they have 11 commits right now, and 9 are from Louisiana, so it's going to be a bulk of the class. I'm not sure if it gets to 15, but somewhere in that 12, 13, 14 range of Louisiana guys. Walter Bobb's at Acadiana. He's a DN committed to Bama right now. And there's just been a general thought, even from his side, that he would wind up going JUCO. So the days of signing and placing are over too. You're not signing some guy that you know is going to JUCO. You're just not getting that spot back. So I think a lot of eyes are on his senior year to see how he plays, and certainly more offers could come. But I think that the main thing to watch there is academics, to see if he can get it, 4-year school right away.
Did LSU accomplish everything they wanted to in the camp circuit part of the summer? You mentioned the visitors that they had on campus. It seemed like they had a who's who throughout.
No, of course, and you'd always love to say that you got commitments from everybody that you wanted to, But I think for me, the most important thing of camp season was evaluations. They haven't had them in 15 months, and we saw multiple guys come off the commitment list and wind up at other schools, and sort of a mutually parting of ways after they were able to be eval'd. And then you sit down and you say, look, man, you're going to be behind on the depth chart here. You go find somewhere that you think would be best for you, and that's just how recruiting works. But it's stuff you don't see on film, and you don't know from talking to them on the phone until you actually just work them out. So I thought that was the most important thing for me, and I think that they made the right moves to say, look, here's the guys we really value now. Here's the guys that are going to move on and go somewhere else, and we're able to reshuffle their board, and I think that's important. I also thought that Moffit said something in there that's been important to me for a long time, and I think it's the key, or a key, to offensive line development is they were in, and this is gone for 10, 20 years, and it's been the line of thinking with offensive linemen for a lot of teams is the big guys, right? Go get the big guys. And that's not always the best approach because you can ask Moffit. It's easier for him
to bulk up.
Give him a 260-pounder. I'll get him stronger. And you heard him talk a lot about, I just need these guys to get stronger. When you're also trying to say, oh, and I need you to lose 30 pounds, it's like, well, that's tough to do. And I've got to then maintain my athleticism, if I even have great athleticism, if I'm 340 pounds or whatever. Now I've got to get some. He mentioned that this group was lighter in the trenches, in the offensive line, and he thought that was a reason why Garrett Dellinger, why Kimo Makaniole, he talked about how quick twitch.
I told you.
Boom, nailed it.
I told you. Rolls off his tongue. I couldn't believe he didn't help Moffit when he was struggling.
I didn't know if he was also one of those is he a first name type or a nickname type? Is he a number 72?
No, I'm sure that's what he's doing on the field.
You know, like
he hit him with the big poly.
Yeah, right.
He did. The big Polynesian.
But I've always thought that was important.
Yeah.
Is that just try to get some guys who are more athletic out of the gate and let Moffit go from there with them. And it seems like this class they were able to do it.
He mentioned the wide receiver class, and he mentioned all of them by name. To follow that class up of Brian Thomas, Chris Hilton, of Malik Neighbors and Deion Smith and Besh, this class is very talented as well. Whether it's Aaron Anderson and Shaz Preston or DeColdis Crawford, what is this wide receiver class? How do you see it kind of shaking up?
Right, and you've got A.J. Johnson at Newman.
A.J. Johnson, yeah.
I think senior year will be big for all these kids because then you'll really get a grip. That's the biggest sort of indicator of future success is how you play as a senior. So I'm watching this fall to see how the whole group does. I'll also throw in Evan Stewart, who's a 5-star out of Texas, who was just in town on Sunday, the last day before the dead period. They're shooting for the stars here, and obviously Shaz Preston will be a big name. And look, you can go back for as long as you want. Name me the last LSU receiver who is really good. Let me make sure I'm not sounding stupid here. That wasn't from Louisiana.
Say it again.
The last good LSU receiver that wasn't from Louisiana.
Dwayne Bowe?
Dwayne Bowe, so the first one.
Well, y'all just went immediately like 15 years ago. So,
I mean, did we miss anybody?
No, so I'm saying you can recruit this state at receiver and be good, let alone go grab one or two guys here and there from Texas, Mississippi, Deion Smith, stuff like that. But however these dominoes fall, they've proven that
they can recruit
beyond, and beyond Devonta Smith, that everyone who's been good has come to school here. And
there was a while there that they shouldn't have come.
That's right.
Shouldn't have come to LSU.
Yeah,
like, why are you coming here?
Not throwing that thing around.
No.
We ain't throwing down here.
This may be my favorite recruit in the class, Denver Harris. You know why? Denver Harris is the 5-star.
I know who he is.
5-star tailback. 5-star cornerback out of
North
Houston.
Shore.
Tack Miner's stepson.
Really?
Oh.
Did you just leave us with a name drop there?
How about that?
You know what? I think. Tack Miner wasn't at camp.
He was at camp.
Maybe he was.
He was at camp.
I saw a couple of other old basketball players out there. Not too old. Marcus Thornton and them.
Yeah.
I think that they had like a nephew out there, whoever it might have been.
Yeah.
It was a who's who of the old basketball brigade out there.
But Tack says his kid can play.
Oh.
Stud, huh?
I think he's the number 2 corner in the country.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a 5-star number. Yeah,
he was
a big
on
deal.
An official visit here this month. He's definitely, it's LSU, Bama's kind of that mix of teams, Texas, and he's at the North Shore where Chase On and Eric Monroe and those guys all went to school.
Oh, so LSU's got a nice.
But everybody does. It's like a everyone.
Well, I guess meatball.
Yeah, everyone on their if you're a Texas team, Bama, everyone's got some North Shore kids. I mean, their whole starting 22 is playing somewhere. So
you mentioned Texas A&M. How close are they to being a legitimate threat in the recruiting world? Because it feels like LSU's been able to kind of glaze over and pluck kids from Texas. How close are they to actually building a legitimate power and keeping those kids in state?
Well, Jimbo knows how to recruit. He's got a staff that can recruit. We haven't seen them on the field take that next step. And it was not for a while. They're just not as physical. Like you get end of the year, LSU's a little deeper. You can just go out there and out physical them. Well, that's not maybe necessarily the case anymore. I think that recruiting-wise, they're a top 5 class right now. They get a lot of good guys. I think they're there. They're on the same level for me. They recruit better than Auburn and a lot of all those schools. So, after Georgia, LSU, Bama, it's A&M in the SEC. Unfortunately, that puts you 4th in the conference and 3rd in the division. So it's not easy sledding out
Murderers
here.
row.
But no, I think even fans in College Station will tell you they've got some talent now. They're just waiting for him to take that step of putting it all together consistently. It's tough to do. We all live in the SEC West world. We get it. But Jimbo's definitely on his way to earning, I don't know about all that money, but they're recruiting well, and certainly they're playing better than they had been 5 years ago.
Yeah, they feel like they're much closer to.
They feel like, they feel like it feels like a threat.
It does.
Does it hurt the soul to say the Aggies?
Yes, because nobody wants that to happen, but it seems like they're right there, man. It is a little disconcerting because the last thing LSU needs is just another team in the West that you have to worry about. It was nice to have that little doormat for a little bit.
Okay, well, and Katie left. There was that stretch where State was number one in the country.
Yeah.
Ole Miss
That's right.
was good.
That's right.
What's going on here?
I'll get you out of here on this one. This is evidently a top 3 class, right? I mean,
I think it will be, yeah.
You think they push for 1?
No, I mean, that's always tough. It just depends. They already have 3 5-stars, so maybe. But, I mean, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia, everyone's putting together a great class. And being number 1 just means you've landed usually two top 10 guys or 2 top 15 guys. That'll push you over. But I'll always stand by, if you're in the top 4 or 5, you're Gucci.
Yeah, you're number 1.
Time,
I mean, you could probably
for those coaches to earn that money.
You could
Go
probably
coach 'em
put
up.
that top 10 classes into a hat and say whichever one you grab, you'll be all right.
And if you're in the SEC West, you prefer to be top 5. So yeah, get a little extra buffer there. But as I said, I think A&M is in the top 5 right now. So company's coming.
Thanks for
West
hanging
ain't
with us,
getting
bro.
easier.
Thanks for hanging, man.
And Moffit
Yeah,
brought it.
dude. 30 minutes.
He must have like a honeydew list that he's avoiding, dude.
He's still doing up downs right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's
Flipping tires in the backyard.
5 minutes on the phone. You've been here 45.
To the point where she came on the show. Man, get him off of there.
Shea Dixon from Go 247, the best in recruiting. If you want the knowledge and want to keep up with what's happening
I
in
learned
recruiting.
something today. Tack Miner's got a
Tack Miner's
connect.
stepson, Denver Harris. We'll get Tackle on next week and hear from him. All right, Shea Dixon, thank you to him. Obviously, thank you. That's how you hear. Will Wade, thank you for stopping by, and of course, Tommy Moffit for stopping in. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Geaux Chevrolet. We're back with you tomorrow morning.